Introducing MODUS Super Series.
I think come tomorrow morning, I think slept. Pretty sure Phil's changing the graphics. I'll just go down back. Radio 3.
Paul, is it worth noting at the end? So at the end of it, I'm thinking just to add in a line saying, "Tonight we'll be paying our respects with the players wearing black armbands." Do you reckon that'd be a nice way to end it?
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series on this very sad day indeed. Well, if you're joining us for the very first time, here's Chris Murphy with a quick explanation of all the rules.
Competition featuring top international players competing for more than £1 million in prize money.
Coming out.
There is a new MODUS Super Series champion every 13 game weeks. The winner of MODUS Super Series 1 will be crowned on Saturday the 22nd of October 2022. So how does it work? 12 players compete every game week with live footage of every match broadcast 6 days per week on Sporty Stuff TV. Group matches take place Monday to Friday in morning and evening slots as players compete in a series of eliminators. The 6 qualifying players contest the finals every Saturday evening. Group matches are followed by semi-finals and the final, producing a new winner each week. Every 13th week, the winners from the previous 12 weeks contest the MODUS Super Series Champions Week. The winner takes home the MODUS Super Series title and earns a place on the honours board. After Champions Week, the action starts again for week 1 of the next series.
As easy as pie. Thanks for that, Chris. Rather you than me. Right, the action this week got underway on Monday morning with Group A. Let's have a look at that table. And it was, as you can see, Lisa Ashton coming out on top. Clear by 4 points, although she had to beat Justin Smith in our penultimate match yesterday afternoon to secure her place in Saturday night's final. So Justin Smith and Graham Usher into tonight's Group B. James Richardson, Alan Tavern and Dan Reid into Group C. Right, let's have a little look at the groups so far. As you can see, Group A winner Lisa Ashton into the final. Now, Group B is a group of 5, so 10 matches for you tonight. The top 3 after tomorrow night's second session of Group B join Lisa Ashton, and it's the top 2 from Group C. So Group B, David Pallett, Jarrod Cole, Nick Kenny join Graham Usher and Justin Smith from Group A, and Carl Wilkinson, Martin Thomas, Reece Colley, Alan Tavern, Dan Reid and James Richardson got underway today in Group C. It's, as I said, it's easy once you get used to it. So let's have a look at Group C. That got underway this morning. And by this afternoon, it was the surprise package of Reece Colley, who wasn't showing great form coming into this week. Myself, Matt Edgar, and Phil Bars were a little bit concerned of his form, but, well, he had 4 wins from 5, including a best leg of 10 darts. Dan Reid right in the mix, also winning 4 out of 5. Martin Thomas, Carl Wilkinson and Alan Tavern all within striking range, but it was James Richardson for the second time this week who failed to win a match. In 50 previous matches coming in to this week, he had never failed to win at least 1 match. So Group B gets underway in the matter of moments, and it is Dave Pallett against Jarrod Cole in our opening match. Dave Pallett is favourite not only to win this Group B, he's favourite to win everything on Saturday night. Justin Smith will face Nick Kenny, and Graham Usher, our 5th of 5 players, will be facing Dave Pallett. Then Jarrod Cole against Justin Smith, Nick Kenny against Graham Usher, Dave Pallett against Justin Smith, Jarrod Cole against Nick Kenny, Smith against Usher, Kenny against Pallett, and then Usher against Cole in our final match of the session. Right, Owen Binks is our referee for this evening and the rest of the week. But let's hand over to our commentary team of Matthew Edgar, but first of all, Henry Deacon.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to Group B here at the MODUS Super Series, which we bring to you, unfortunately, in some very, very sad circumstances. Earlier on today, we heard the horrible news from Balmoral, and like the rest of the country, we were shocked and saddened to hear the news of the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. We send our condolences on what has been a very sad day for her family and the country, which begins a 10-day period of mourning. Tonight, the players will pay their respects by wearing black armbands. And so first on stage this evening, David Pallett up against Jared Cole. These two returning to the Super Series, having played earlier in this series. Jared Cole finished 4th in week 2, whereas for David Pallett, he was the runner-up in week 1. He lost out to Robert Owen alongside me here in the commentary box to describe all of the action and to analyse what we are about to see is Matthew Edgar. Matt, good evening to you. An interesting Group B, a tight Group B, and a Group where you just get the sense is anyone's game.
$56. $100.
This is how they're priced up. David Pallett, the 7-4 favourite to get through the group. Jared Cole at 3-1. Graham Usher 7-2. 5-1 Nick Kenny. 6-1 Justin Smith, who nearly automatically qualified for the final on Saturday. Tipped to the post in that decider against Lisa Ashton in game 14 of Group A yesterday morning.
$140.
I was going to say,
70.
When Jared's first dart stands up on the treble bed like that, it's usually a nice lie for him, isn't it?
$57. $65. David, you require 148.
So David first to have finished, leaving 148 after 12. Cole is back on 170.
$56. Jared, you require 170.
This would be some way to open his account for the evening. That strays just wide to the left of the single 5.
$75. David, you require 92.
92 for Pallett. This gives him choices. He can go the safety route on the ball, or he can go aggressive like he has done on the treble 20.
52.
So
Jared, you require 95.
Same equation for Jared here. Can utilise the ball. He decides to go the safety road. He hits the ball, which gives him a dart at the double 16.
79. David, you require
Not
40.
the double we normally associate Jared with. He normally likes to leave that tops. Very low dart from David Pallett.
Game shot on the
recovers
first
it well
leg.
on the double
David
10. That is
Pallett.
a holder throw in 20 darts for David Pallett. Interesting when we look at the choice of double there.
Second leg is Jared to throw
Jared
first.
Cole,
Game on.
because actually when I was looking through the stats and the data, tops and 10s seems to be his normal route.
96.
We'll mention the last couple of days, and in particular with Alan Tabern, who's had such an affinity with the double 16 when he goes for that segment of the board, but he decides to go for tops. And it's an analytical part of the game, which you sense that going forward as the sport further
31.
professionalises, like any sport, with further analysis put in, it's something that players should ask for, look at, and then work on.
45.
Said this morning as well that some players like to play on feeling. We got that from Alan Tabern and James Richardson. I wonder if we can put Jared Cole in the same category. Someone who lives in the moment.
85.
You sense that these younger players, I'm saying younger players, I'm in that young bracket myself, but for those players of Jared's age, just a little bit or just a little bit below, you sense that they'll like this environment, to be able to play on the stage and make the most of it.
81.
Do sort of feel that Jared would thrive on a Saturday night in here with a few people in here having a bit of a darty party, as we've been saying.
140. 140.
Obviously, crowd available for Saturday evenings for the finals. We'll see Lisa
100.
Ashton.
David, you're 132.
And then 3 people from this group. The top 3 out of the 5 will be going through to Saturday night.
And some well-backed players as well that bring a vocal
82.
support group with
Jared
them
Record,
whenever they are
108.
able to with a crowd. As Jared wants the 108 to level us up here in this match. It's not going to go.
92.
So Pallett
David,
for
you
an
record
early
50.
breaker throw wants 50. 2 darts at tops.
Game showed
And
the
in
second
next to
leg.
no time,
David
David Pallett
Pallett
opens up a 2-0 lead here against Jared Cole.
Interesting
David
looking
to
over
throw
the head-to-head
first.
stats. Actually, they've met once previous, and that was 6-0 to David Pallett. So 8 legs to 0 in favour of David Pallett on the head-to-head, but that was way back in 2018 at a UK Open qualifier. Jared Cole, obviously a completely different animal to what we saw in 2018.
125.
Ironically, Dave Pallett didn't just qualify for that year's UK Open, he actually reached the semi-final of the main event. That was the year of the snow. One of the coldest,
81.
strangest experiences of the UK Open, played with no crowd. The main stage not available because the snow on top of the dome.
140.
Played it on stage 2, which to be fair is not too dissimilar to what we're seeing here, obviously with the crowd coming in on Saturday. It's a stage behind closed doors, that tournament.
140.
But we've seen David Pallett in the past when he goes to Alexandra Palace or any of the other big events in front of a crowd. He does like to give it some on the
59.
walk-on.
It's from that same breed with Ricky Evans, isn't he? Spent a lot of time together growing up. And if there's one person who's going to make you do a few wacky things, it's Ricky Evans.
65.
Most of which probably not fit for broadcast.
66.
Sure they'll blame each
David, you're
other.
157.
Said they got in with the wrong crowd.
It's down. Treble 19, which will leave him 1 dart at tops, which drags just below.
111.
That would have been for a 3-0 lead. Cole to get the break back wants 111. He's going to get a dart at double
79.
16, which goes the other
David,
side of the
you're
wire.
20.
So David Pallett to open up a 3-0 lead in our opening game of this evening. He's going to head up for double 5.
Game shown the third leg.
And a perfect
David
dart
Pallett.
into that double. And David Pallett opens up a 3-0 lead here. And Jared Cole will need to win every single leg from here if he is going to win our opening rubber of the opening evening
35.
here in Group B.
You say he's got to win every single leg from here, but that's a player he has not yet registered a single leg in the 22 years he's been walking planet Earth.
37.
Mind you, he hasn't won a leg against me either.
95.
Take it you've not played Mr. Cole at darts ever?
And I don't think I will either.
That's the only way that record's staying intact.
58.
Might have to move the board anywhere near the single one.
I don't think this record's going to be staying
81.
intact too much if David Pallett doesn't get his scoring boots on here. 6 darts and he's not even out with the 400s yet. It's going to get him down. That's that dart sitting up nicely in the treble.
140.
Registers his 4th score of 140 or more.
84.
Players averaging 82.
But it feels as if they're just yet to find their feet. I know they're averaging 82 respectively, but you just sense that there's just something more there which I just can't quite get out yet.
First time both of these players have experienced the Super Series in its new format, in its new venue.
58. David, you require
Venue of
170.
this stage. Big open room. pause for a second there as David Pallett was
86.
teasing us with the
Jared, you
second
record
fish of the week.
148.
You sense that this has to go for Jared Cole if he is to stay in the match. And the lie with the first dart's really nice. He's in one dart at double 14,
120.
which if it went, would have brought
David,
him
you record
back to within
84.
2. But here now, David Pallett leaving 84. 14. Treble 14. Leaves one dart at double 11.
62.
And that one also goes wide of the
Jared, you
mark.
record 28.
And so Cole returns for double 14.
No score.
But the Demons on the doubles
David, you record
continue
22.
for Jared Cole. He had those issues when he got eliminated in the Saturday finals last time out.
Good
But in the
shot on
battle of the
match.
returning players, David
Pallett.
Pallett opens up his account with a 4-0 victory against Jared Cole with an average of 81.24 and 4 from 9 on the doubles. Jared Cole missed 6 darts at double in that match. So David Pallett wins our opening game of the evening session. We're going to take a short break. When we return, Justin Smith takes on Nick Kenny.
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. So Dave Pallett makes it 10 out of 10 against Jared Cole. Let's have a quick look at the stats from that one. And as you can see, both players making their debut on this all-new MODUS Super Series stage. So I expected a bit of early nerves, but it was a good start from Pallett. And Jared Cole, none from 6 on the doubles. Much more efficient for David Pallett. 4 out of 9, 44.4%. And that 140 column doesn't make good reading, but I can assure you, Jared Cole will bounce back. So up next, it is a all-Welsh battle as Justin Smith takes on Nick Kenny in official competition. These two haven't met since 2015, and on that occasion, it was a 4-1 win for Nick Kenny. Again, advantage Justin Smith here, as he's already had 3 days on that stage. So Owen Binks taking us through all the action, and in comms, Matthew Edgar and Henry Deacon.
Thank you very much, Chris. As we see 2 Welshmen upon the stage here at the Super Series, and as Mace alluded to, Matt, interesting that in official competition, they haven't met since 2015.
Which is crazy when you look at 2 players that are quite local to each other. I'm sure they've probably met in Super Leagues or somewhere else along the way. But another interesting thing here is Nick Kenny is our last player to play this week. So the last new face coming into the action. After we've seen Nick Kenny play, we would have seen the player who will be scooping that £5,000
Okay, first look, it's Justin
prize
to
on
throw
Saturday
first.
night.
Game on.
All players will have played after Nick Kenny. Nick Kenny comes into this 5-1 for the group.
100.
I think it's a little bit big.
Probably the value bet in that market. Of course, Nick Kenny is the only one of the newcomers in this group that hasn't played here in a previous week in this phase.
93.
As you mentioned with Cole and Pallett, they are having a second chance, their final chance to qualify for Champions Week,
60.
which takes place in the middle of October. Been a little while since we've seen Nick Kenny here in front of our screens.
98.
Dropped off the PDC Pro Tour at the end of 2021. Played a little bit, of course, here at the Super Series and its predecessor.
57.
And the goal is very much for him to get back on tour by winning a tour card in 2023.
Looks like a few things have changed for Nick Kenny as well. Got a nice new shirt on the go there. Looks like he's lost a little bit of weight as well. Like he's managing his time a little bit better.
180.
Justin that board well with 180. Justin Smith. To 70, it's double 16.
38.
Offers
Nick
Nick Kenny an
requires
opportunity
64.
to break the throw. He'll start on those 16s. Starts on them well. Doing 2 darts at double 8. 1 at double 4.
56.
Which he cannot convert.
Justin, you require 32.
And so, for an opening leg call, well, that first dart's really awkward, isn't it? Had to move across. He's going to have to move further across again,
score.
isn't he?
Nick, you require 8.
Well, 3 darts missed at double for Justin Smith. That's now 4 in this leg. Nick
shot the
Kenny's missed
first
2,
leg.
but he will not miss a
Nick
third.
Kenny.
And he gets a breaker throw in this opening leg against Justin Smith. He takes charge of the game right from the get-go.
Game on.
Bit of a opportunist, Nick Kenny. Played in 2 PDC World Championships, both via the qualifier. I seem to remember on the social media and certainly
81.
in some of the venues, he likes to refer to it as Nick Kenny Day.
Once upon a time, it was known as Matt Edgar Day, wasn't it?
140.
I always loved the last day. Always used to pull something out, and Nick Kenny follows on that same breed of player who, when his back's against the wall and he needs to produce something, has to jump in and do that. I say a few things have changed since when I saw him. There's also been given the captaincy of Wales, something he's very proud of.
60.
You can see that clearly with the shirt that he is now wearing. see it with the flights.
180.
As they go in for a second 180 for Nick Kenny. That's two 180s already on the board. Good way to
97.
settle into the week, that, isn't it?
Well, with an average of 98.4 as well. And of course, Nick Kenny, knowing he's going to get this one chance at Group B.
60.
He's got 2 days, which he's really got to go and attack. Okay, it's 3 from 5 that go through from this group. But you want to set your stall out early here.
100.
And that is exactly what he's doing.
122.
He's 1-2-2 after 12 with the darts. He's going to be under some pressure from Justin Smith. He's going to get 1 dart at the bullseye,
97.
which dips
Justin,
just
you've got
below.
104.
We haven't seen a ton plus finish yet tonight. Can Justin Smith give it to us now? 1 dart, a double
Game
16
shot the
is
second
all he needs to
Justin
level us
Smith.
up and to make it 1 apiece. 2 legs 1, both with a breaker throw. We are level at 1 apiece.
So look, it's Justin
It's
to throw
the
first.
4th day in
Game
a
on.
row we've watched Justin Smith playing here in the MODUS Super Series. And that is just his second 100-plus finish.
140.
The other 100-plus finish came with the maximum finish, the 170. Maximums in favour of Nick Kenny at the moment, 2-0, but those averages make good
40.
reading. 94 and a bit for Nick Kenny, 92.5 for Justin Smith. Good standard, as we expected. 2 players that
123.
will know each other, they'll travel a lot together. You'll just give them a little bit more comfort when they're playing this one.
Indeed. The Welsh players
60.
do tend to travel together as a pack, don't they? You'll always see them at the same tables on tour, travelling together on the same aeroplanes,
100.
trains, cars. Welsh starting community, it's a very tight-knit one.
They're certainly going down the Alan Suter
100, Justin, you've got
way of
138.
patriotic here. The bearded dragon. The Welsh
58.
flights. Nick Kenny with the Welsh shirt, the Welsh flights.
Again, another thing you see a lot with Welsh players, they always tend to have their flag on their shirt.
100,
And their
Justin, you've
flights
got
as well, by
80.
the looks of it. Justin Smith looking for a holder throw. We'll get 6 here. He's going to need another
21.
handful. But this was something he was doing a lot earlier on in the week, missing the big number.
Yeah, we was unlucky with the second dart because it clattered off the first, but then you got to make sure with the last, which he didn't, and it means that he's going to
95.
spurn
Justin,
a
you've got
dart a double
59.
here. He should have 3 at topped. He's only going to get 2,
Game shot
but
the
in matter
third
of fact, he
leg.
only really needed
Justin
1.
Smith.
So Justin Smith gets our first hold of this game. He leads 2-1. Nick Kenny has the honours in the 4th.
4th leg, it's Nick to throw first. $45.
Justin Smith very nearly got
140.
himself directly through. He had that direct shootout with Lisa Ashton in the final game. And it was those big numbers that sort of eluded him. Missed an
55.
opportunity. Take that game. Not giving himself a chance at the double. Doing exactly what he's just done in that one. But if you're going to hit some 180s, and the timing of that 180, great opportunity to get his first one on the board.
He was probably the most consistent scorer in Group A.
100.
As you mentioned, those doubles against Ashton proved to be trouble, and he was quite philosophical about it when I had a chat with him
60.
an hour and a half ago. And this is the thing with the movement from Group A to Group B, you take it at face value, you just move into a new group, completely change the mindset. You're just
100. Justin,
starting
you've got 121.
from afresh. And those who can cope with that mindset will
81.
do the best when they're moved into their respective groups on Thursday and Friday. Well, it looks as if he's going to be in a position to take command of the match against the darts.
100.
tops,
Justin, you require
Which,
40.
if he gets, will open up a 3-1 lead. Down for double 10. Long for double 5. Chasing around the board.
35.
Chasing all around the
He can
board.
require 101.
And so Nick Kenny, despite being on 101, could be an interested party. Treble 19. Would have left one dart at double 12. Which would have been 4 holds.
Justin, you require 5.
But with Smith back on 5, the double 10 gives him hope. Because that second dart's awkward.
No score.
Had to pick a side,
He can
left
require
or right,
20.
went left, and then found his way into the double 17.
Game
And
shot
so
on the
back
4th
level, we
leg.
are at 2 apiece
Nick
in this
Kenny.
game. The body language of Justin Smith perhaps says it all, because he knows it's a leg that he should have won, he should have had in his leisure. He goes on to lose it,
Fifth leg
and
is
now
Justin
instead
to
of
throw
throwing for the
first.
match, it's a game that's completely level at 2 apiece.
I think the main stat we're going to keep
93.
an eye on throughout the day for Justin Smith is that 140 column. That was a feature of his game earlier on in the week. Filled that up nicely. 9 and 7 140s in games at
57.
times. And when he's on song, find that double treble combination. There's 140s and there's another one there. That's his
140.
5th of the game. And that's the thing that's buying him these opportunities at the moment.
Well, you look at the statistics. Yes, Nick Kenny's got 2 maximums, but
27.
Justin Smith is completely outscoring him in the 140 bracket 5-1.
That's why he's had 7 more darts at
58.
a double so far. Justin Smith, 12 darts at the double, converted just 2. When Nick Kenny has converted the 2 from just 5 attempts. Continues in that vein. You've got to imagine
140.
Justin Smith will eventually give himself a little bit cushion on the scoreboard, but there's not a lot of time in the first of 4 games.
132.
Exactly. These are short races. Got to set your stall quickly. It's not like a game of the World Match Play where you're playing first to 11 and you can maybe work your way into it and
78.
attack after the first break. Got to be in it from the get-go. And Justin Smith is going to get 1 dart at tops,
58.
which would have put him 1 away. He's going to come back for double 10 because Nick Kenny's all the way back on 220. All he can do is apply as much pressure as he possibly can. That's a nice first dart for Nick. Where his darts stand up,
100.
a nice
Justin, you require 20.
bulky barrel. Double 10 then for Justin Smith to make it
Game shot on
3-2.
the
He
5th
does so.
leg. Justin Smith.
He's 1 leg away from victory in our second game of the evening. Nick Kenny has the darts in leg 6. Leg he
Leg is
has
Nick
to win
throw
to
first.
stay in the match.
He's going to give himself opportunities. He's going to have to start making a
40.
move in this scoring phase. And a score of 40 with the throw is not going to be doing that.
80.
Justin Smith, very unlucky there. That one comes out of the treble 20. Gives Nick Kenny a bit of a reprieve.
70.
But 4 out of his 6 darts so far have gone left into that 5.
60.
You're going to be missing. You've at least got to be straight. That will be concerning for Nick Kenny at this stage.
Very concerning indeed. And of course, 4 games this evening, so a little bit less time to work things out. Although you get the luxury that it is 3
100.
from 5 that get through Group B into Saturday night's final, who will join Lisa Ashton. Congratulations to her. She won Group A
56.
yesterday at the expense of Justin Smith. A winner-take-all battle in Game 14 of our day yesterday, which Ashton was the victor in.
Well, if we look at the
100.
bookies and the odds, they had Lisa Ashton as the biggest outsider before the off, and she won that group. Reece Colley was the outsider of Group C, and he's topping the table
80.
after day 1. Justin Smith was the biggest outsider going into this group, and he could be kicking off his day with 2 points.
So what you're saying is, lump the money on Justin Smith.
140.
Go with the biggest outsider. Looks to be the way forward at the moment. But this is an improved leg from Nick Kenny. Leaves himself 51 after 15 darts.
65.
Nice little two-darter here for Nick. You can pick your route here. You can go 11 tops. Or we can go for the 19s to leave the double 16, which is the route he chooses.
Game shot
And the route he delivers on. That's an 18-dart holder throw for Nick Kenny. Takes us all the way to a deciding leg where it will be Justin Smith throwing first.
Seventh and final leg is Justin to throw first. Game on.
And already in this early stage of the evening,
121.
it's a pivotal leg. David Pallett's already opened up a sizable advantage in this group by beating Jared Cole by 4 legs to 0. Legs difference is so crucial in this Group B. Someone's going to get +1 and 2 points. Who's it going to be?
80.
Oh, that's unlucky. That's about the third or fourth time that's happened now.
It's the third time. And out of the treble bed as well. It's another 60 points on the floor, which when your opponent kicks off with a 180, his third 180 of the match.
135.
He's responding. This is the form that we've seen from him in the before.
140.
Form that has got him to 2 world championships within the PDC. The form that has won him 7 WWF ranking events. It's won him a tour card.
56.
What a roll
just
of honour.
160.
Just 29 years old.
Some say that's the prime age for a darts player. Justin Smith, looking to keep a hand. He doesn't like the lie, so he moves downstairs. And so Nick Kenny has 130 for the match to seal a 4-3 victory, and it would be a break of throw. And that's a perfect marker again, which is going to leave him 1 dart at the bullseye.
82.
And that would have won the game in style. So Justin Smith returns to 64. He's going to get 1 dart at double 16.
48.
And now he spurns his opportunity to win the match. Nick Kenny returns.
48 for the match. Should get 2 match darts from here. It is at double 16. 1 dart left. 2 8s.
32.
Comes wide. It is a game
Justin,
of
you
take
require
your pick
60.
tennis. Offering each other opportunities. Is this the last time? Justin Smith needs an opportunity. It is
Justin Smith.
It's a 16-dart holder throw for Justin Smith, which is enough to see him over the line and take a 4-3 victory over Nick Kenny. 85.60 the average. He was teasing us to a big one all the way along, but it was those checkouts. 4 from 17, but it was enough in this one to get the 2 points.
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. 2 games down, 8 to go. And a good performance in the end from Justin Smith, getting the win against his Welsh captain, Nick Kenny. Let's have a quick recap of the stats. And as you can see, Justin Smith with a 4-3 win, 85.6 the average, and he missed 13 darts at a double. It really was a good scoring performance from Justin Smith. 6 140s, 1 180, 3 180s, and 3 140s for Nick Kenny. In fact, Justin Smith could have won 6 of those 7 legs if it wasn't for a few missed darts at doubles. Up next, it's Graham Usher, who averaged just north of 87 across Group A, and he faces David Pallett, who made a great start this evening, winning 4-0. Our referee for this one is Owen Binks, and then to our commentary team of Matthew Egbert and Henry Deacon.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. As we zoom into the 2 players on the stage, David Pallett returning on the back of a 4-0 victory against Jared Cole in the night's opening match against Graham Usher, the gambler from Scarborough, making his bow in Group B, but not his bow this week. He finished 3rd in Group A on 16 points, 13-2 to get through and win the week. And in terms of this group, Group B, 7-2 to win outright. Who's your pick in this one, Matt?
You've just thrown me straight under the bus on the first comment there. This is a 50-50 game for me, and this one will come down to timing and who can produce at the right moments. One thing we've seen from Graham Usher this week, it's a lot of 180s, 17 in the 180 column. If you can find a few of those, it's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, we mentioned Pallett's pedigree in 2022.
58.
Winner on the Challenge Tour, winner in the WDF system at the England Open weekend in Breen.
140.
A player who's in 2022 has had a really, really good year, hasn't he, David Pallett?
He has, and that's earned him a couple of Pro Tour call-ups as well.
92.
Recently took out a certain Peter Wright on the PDC Pro Tour. 107. 0.67 the average. Dave Pallett. On the man battling out for the world #1 position on the main order of merit. Also registered wins over Gurton Enches, Jermaine Bottomena.
78. Granny require 81.
Ryan Searle.
Very much a player on the up and up is
Games
Ryan
on the
Searle.
first leg.
And Graham Usher
Usher
is up and running in terms of his account for the evening. Comfortable hold and throw in 12. Superstar from
So
Usher
it's David to throw first.
as he ushers in his campaign. An almost perfect start, leading 1-0 against David Pallett. Hold and throw in the first.
81.
Don't know about you, but for me at the moment, David Pallett's looking extremely tense.
100.
A bit slow in the action. Bit of a pause coming in there. That's the average in the first game, 81, despite the 4-0 victory.
92.
For him and Jared, is there an extra pressure on the next couple of days? Because they've already had one go
100.
at trying to qualify for Champions Week. They failed in that attempt, so they returned for a second time. They know they're not going to get any more opportunities. So with that in the back of your mind, can that just tense you up? Because they both looked a bit tense in their opening game to start the night.
56.
Personally, I'd say no. If I went in there for a second opportunity, you'd just go in there and
140.
you'd just be enjoying the moment. You'd feel like it is an extra opportunity. You'd feel like the opportunity's already gone. You've already been beat. So
105.
throwing
Going to
darts and
161.
enjoying the occasion.
60.
Musher's enjoying
David,
the
you record
occasion here. He took out 12 darter
167.
in the opening leg. He set himself up after 12 again. Nothing Pallett can do now from this other than leave it handy. Seen Graham Usher take a few of these this week, so
102. Graham, you record
he's got it in the
101.
locker.
You have to go for treble 19 to leave double 12 if he was going to. Would have been for a breaker throw.
75.
But what he
David, you
has
record
done
65.
is put this 65 for Pallett under all heaps of pressure. 25 for tops.
Game shot
For a
the
level
second
game.
leg.
And if you're
David
going to
Pallett.
describe a perfect dart at tops to be thrown in a perfect part of that segment of the board, it would have been that one. Pallett levels us up. It's
Feel like
one
it's Graham
apiece.
to throw
It's Usher with the
first.
throw in the third.
Had two conversations this morning with Phil Bars on commentary.
134.
One of them was regarding Carl Wilkinson putting his hand in his pocket, and he was saying about being a Yorkshireman. It's a strange trait when you look at another Yorkshireman, Graham Usher, doing the same. And I thought, I'll have a little
128.
look at that, and he is. He's putting his hand in his pocket at times. I did say he was probably counting his money.
60.
Yorkshiremen traditionally a little bit on the tight side.
I'm not going to pass comment there. I'm going to throw you under the bus again.
Well, I'm a slight Yorkshireman myself, you see, so I can get away with slagging off the home
140.
country. The other thing we spoke about was if a
60.
dart player could ever throw left and right-handed. And I was informed by Peter Jakes this morning that Graham Usher can do that. So I had a little look in the practice room, and I said to Graham, I want to see
56.
two darts with a left hand at double 16 and one with a right. And he hit a double 16, and it was with the right hand, not the left.
180.
Now that's dangerous for the field, because if you fancy it, why don't you swap hands, Graham, if you're not firing with the left?
Did say I wanted to see it tonight. I don't think he's going to pull it out the locker, but I have seen it. I can vouch for it.
67.
He'd like to see this 67 for another solid
Game
holder
shot
throw,
the
and that's
third
exactly
leg.
what he's got.
Graham Usher.
Another solid holder throw from Graham Usher. 14 dart leg, 67 to finish, and the average is a monster. 108
David to throw
at the moment for
first.
Graham Usher. David Pallett's 94. Not going to do enough to resist if Graham Usher can stay in that vein of form.
57.
And we're seeing Graham Usher hit stratospheric averages here at the Super
100.
Series. Hit a 9 darter this year as well. Did that against Dan Reed. That was in the Champion of Champions, which he finished third in. Won by Jim McEwen was that particular competition.
45.
Graham Usher more than had his moments. Here at the Super Series, has been one of the best players in
100.
2022. And you sense when Q School comes in January, and we spoke about it a little bit earlier on this week, when you're looking at players that you think conceivably have a chance of winning a tour card, whether that be
92.
outright or via the 4 days, you just think the consistency of Graham Usher over that period of time would mean, even if he doesn't get it outright,
100.
he's got a very good chance of doing it via points.
Definitely. When we look at his throwing here, 100, 100, 100, 3 scores of a ton. And I'm looking at the average, and it's just coming down. That's when you know someone's playing well, when they're hitting hundreds and the average is actually plummeting.
Mine usually doubles.
60.
Be hoping to be able to double before Pallett here. Got a 60-point buffer, but Pallett does have the advantage of throw. Means he gets that extra visit.
92. Graham Record 141.
It's a great first start. We're looking at the treble 19 for double 12.
Game
And
shot
that is an
the fourth
amazing
leg.
finish there
Graham
from Graham Usher. A
Usher.
15 dart breaker throw with a huge 141 to finish. He is 3 out of
Fifth leg,
4
it's
on the
Graham
doubles.
to throw first. Game on.
He is running at 105.96. He is setting down a marker in Group
100.
B.
Indeed he is. He went on a run yesterday which just put him in the back of the contention group to win
85.
Group A. And I think the nighttime sessions suit him well as well.
I'm just
60.
looking at the stats and my notes from the last couple of days, and Graham Usher always seems to start strong into a day, and as it goes, just tails off slightly. Saying that, though,
94.
he's never been posting over the 100 like he is at the moment. 103.45.
60.
And we mentioned the last couple of days the importance of the legs difference. David Pallett beat Jared Cole by 4 legs to 0. He could be on the wrong end of a 4-1 scoreline, which would effectively wipe out the gains he
56.
made in the legs difference in that opening game against the man from Hatfield.
140.
And conceivably, Graham Usher is on the hill. 141 after 12. Gonna get time.
48. Graham, you record 141.
Gonna get 6 at it for the match. Already seen him hit it once. He got it in the last leg.
You asking me? Yeah. 66.
66 left, so he had options.
88.
To go bull to leave double eight upon his return. 53 when he does. But it's going to be under some severe pressure here from David Pallett.
98. Graham, you record 53.
Leave Shanghai. But Graham Usher's going to get 2 darts
Game
at
shot
tops
out
for
the
the match. He only
match.
needs the 1.
Graham Usher.
And he beats David Pallett by 4 legs to 1, who in turn beat Jared Cole 4-0. So the gains he made in the legs difference have now been wiped out. But have a look at the average. Have a look at the checkout statistics. Have a look at the high out. It was an absolutely superb performance from Graham Usher. A shade under 102 in that 4-1 victory against Pallet. We're going to take a short break. Upon our return, Jared Cole returns to our screens. He takes on Justin Smith.
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. This is Series 1, Week 7, Group B, and what a performance that was from Graham Usher, taking care of business against Dave Pallett. He was the outsider of the two, even money for that one, and produced his best performance of the week, winning 4-1 with 101.88 average, 186 140s. But look at the doubling, 4 out of 5, and some lovely finishes en route with that 141 included. So Graham Usher, a statement of intent, possibly putting it down a marker. Well, next up, it is Jared Cole against Justin Smith. But let's have a look at the table after 3 matches in the opening stages of this Group B. As you can see, Graham Usher, he has won 1 from 1, 1 from 2 for Pallet. Justin Smith, 1 match, 1 win. Nick Kenny and Jared Cole without a win. Well, that's going to change possibly for Jared Cole as he faces Justin Smith in our next match. Without further ado, let's join Owen Binks on stage, and in commentary, Matthew Edgar and Henry Deacon.
Thank you very much, Chris. And 2 of the most precocious young talents we get to see here at the Super Series go head-to-head. Jared Cole up against Justin Smith. These 2 have played each other a fair bit in this competition over the last couple of years. And you cannot separate these 2 in head-to-head battles, Matt Edgar.
Head-to-head, the 2 have played each other 8 times, 4 apiece. So nothing separating them on the previous meetings. If we have to really delve through that, we'll notice that Jared Cole has won the last 3 meetings between the
first
2,
leg, it's
which could
Jared
give
to
us
throw first.
a bit of an
Game
indication.
on.
Jared Cole taking those 4-1, 4-1 and 4-2. All of those this year.
140.
The old Live League system. Certainly mixed
100.
vibes off the first game. Jared Cole didn't register a single leg in his 4-0 defeat to Dave Pallett. Justin Smith come to a nail biter.
46.
And he looked like he was going to seal the victory in that last leg. Hit a well-timed 180, but Justin Smith able to resist.
140.
Does this almost become a crucial game from the get-go for Jared Cole?
With the extra qualifying place that Group B
140.
has, not yet. And that's the advantage of Group B. If this was Group C, I would be
60.
agreeing. But in Group B, I think you just get that little bit of extra time because you've only got to make the top 3.
59.
Doesn't matter where you finish. Third's as good as first. It gets you through to Saturday night's finals.
60. Jared Jericho 116.
116 then for the opening leg, and it's been a good start from both. Has to move across. Looking for that treble to leave him a dart at double 18.
41.
And then
Justin Jericho 141.
perhaps stubbornly decided to stay there to leave double 8. As Justin Smith looks to go for the 141, which you saw from Graham Usher in the last game. He decided to go treble 15 there, did Smith, whereas Usher went treble 19 and then nailed the double 12. So Cole will return, but for 75,
84. Jared Jericho 75.
should have left it much more handier than this. But he's going to get 2 at double
Game shot on the
12,
first leg.
and he makes
Jared Cole.
my observations absolutely academic. So Jared Cole holds throw in the opener, leads 1-0 against Justin Smith.
Second leg, it's Justin to throw first.
It's his first leg of the day, and you don't want it to go too long. And that first double of the day always makes you feel better. That'll make Justin Smith feel
180.
better. First 180 of this match goes to Justin Smith. Can really get that power scoring going
60.
at times.
$60.
You get the sense that the pace of both of these
42.
players will suit each other. Both similar throwing style, both similar pace.
100.
You normally find when one player starts to thrive, normally carries the other one along as well. You sort of forget that you're playing a game and you just put your head
135.
down
Justin,
and
you've got 161.
throw the darts. You don't try tracking things. Justin Smith tracked this leg well,
129.
choosing not to go for the treble 17, just to set it up, and he chooses to set it up on his favourite double 16.
45. Justin, you've got
get
132.
6 darts if he needs them.
Game shot on the
Of course he
second
doesn't
leg.
need them.
Justin
He only needs
Smith.
the one. Justin Smith, the 13 dart to hold his throw and to level this one up.
So look, it's
Well,
Jared to throw first.
The early indications, the averages, very far apart. 20 points difference
99.
after the first couple of legs. Justin Smith on 101.25. Shot from Jared, just
60.
bumping him up to the 82.
I just get the feeling that missing out so late yesterday and winning Group A to Lisa Ashton, I just given him that extra fire in the belly
58.
tonight. You could sense that, well, when he came off stage, he was visibly upset as he headed towards the practice room.
81.
And I think he knows that he had an opportunity, and now moving into this Group B, gets a second chance, but he wants to make the most of it. And he feels like, as I mentioned, he's got a point to prove over the next couple of days.
100.
He'll certainly feel better getting that double 16 with the first dart as well. Give him 17 darts to get his 4 doubles in the opening game. Included a 104 finish.
39.
So certainly pigging that 1 out of 1. Going to make him feel a lot better. Does his opponent have a bounce out? Something he was very unfortunate with in the first game. Seen a lot of darts come out with that treble 20. And I don't think there's a route into that treble 20 with this one, is there?
How far do you move across?
58.
Well, he's decided to recycle any idea of trying to leave 160. So he went across to the 18s, and
82.
well, that was a huge last start for Jared Cole. Effectively saved the visit.
59. Jared, you require 83.
Turning for 83. And despite being 9 points behind on the average, he's making the advantage of throw count. Bullseye.
58.
Just the other side of the wire. He is going to return for the 25.
57.
And we mentioned a lot that averages are just a guide. But Jared Cole, oh my, he's missed the big number. Huge mistake that. So, 1 dart left at double 4.
17. Justin, you require 86.
And he spurned a big opportunity there. Justin Smith returns to 86. Treble 14, leaves a dart at tops.
Game shot on the third
And that will
leg.
feel like a
Justin
steal for
Smith.
Justin Smith. Jared Cole missed the big number, which meant he only had 1 dart at double to hold throw in that third leg. And we were complimenting him about the fact that
It's Justin to throw
despite being
first.
behind in the averages, he knew that he only had to hold to win the match. And he was, up until that point, going about his business in that department very well. But the whole landscape of this game changes
40.
because Justin Smith has got the break. And Jared Cole's just got to go all-out attack now against the darts.
100.
Sort of get a feeling Justin Smith might have found himself a lamp on the way back to the practice room and found a genie pop out of that lamp, because everything that's been going wrong for Justin
35.
Smith, the bounce outs are now happening in his favour, seeing his opponent getting bounce outs. Justin Smith's been missing the big numbers, and he sees his opponent in that last leg
100.
missing the big number. It's like his fortunes have changed for the first time this week.
140.
If he holds his throw here, he will be 3-1 up and 1 leg away from
140.
back-to-back victories. Leaves a 2-dart finish.
90. Justin, you
just
require
12.
76.
His finishing's been going well in this. He hasn't missed a dart at a double yet.
Game
And
shot on
that
the fourth leg.
continues. in
Justin
leg 4.
Smith.
Justin Smith, a hold of throw, 100% on the doubles, a massive improvement from his opening game when he was just
Fifth
4
against Jared to throw
out of
first.
17.
This is a huge leg for Jared Cole. Because if he loses this, he doesn't just lose the match as he piles in his first maximum of the game. It won't just be the fact that he'd be 0 points from 2 games. It would be the fact that he lost the first one to David Pallett 4-0, and then potentially it could be on the wrong end of a heavy scoreline here. And legs difference will come into play, most likely at the end of the group. You don't want to be making up ground going into Friday in that particular department.
100, doesn't he, at the minute? That's the concern. Even that 180 was not enough. You just owned 3 perfect darts, and that was not enough to make him
140.
visibly look good. Even that 140, looking frustrated, even with good visits.
140.
Jared usually has this aura around the stage. He has a presence. Double 10.
90. Justin, you record 164.
This is for the match. Won't it go on this occasion?
99.
Coming back at
Jared, you record 10.
Only get 1 dart. And he's picked double 1.
No score.
And he's a long
Justin,
way low.
65.
Offering Justin Smith further opportunity to win the match.
45. Jared, you
So Jared Cole returns for double 5. He's 1 from 6 on the doubles thus far. Make that 2 from 7.
Jared
keeps him in the game. But Justin Smith will have the throw in leg 6 to seal a 4-2 victory. This is the one for Jared.
To throw first.
More importantly, this is the one for Justin. He's going to try and put all of his energies into trying to get it done here and now. But he's presented an opportunity to Jared Cole. Only 59 with his first 3 darts, and Jared doesn't pounce over it.
100.
When we look at the data, you can see Jared Cole actually got a 180 in the column. He's got 5 140s, but it's those
29
steady darts that gel everything together, those 100 visits, those 96s, 97s that seem to be letting him down at the moment.
60.
A lot of trebleless visits for Jared Cole. Well, his average is down at 77. And he's playing with a bit of hope at the moment that Justin lets him in rather than carving his own opportunities.
59.
Again loses the lie.
30.
Finding the 5s. And a couple of 5s already in this leg. You can visibly see it's getting to him now.
140.
Justin Smith, a trademark 140, puts him 83 points away from getting his 2nd victory of the day. He registered a win over Nick Kenny earlier on, 4-3.
134. Justin, you've got 83
against Jared Cole. Starting to feel a little bit desperate. 2 9s.
65. Jared, you've got
well, this has to go. He hasn't had a fruitful relationship with the treble 20. Continually, the first dart goes low, and usually he had been getting bailed out by the treble 19. He can't go there at this juncture. Well, he may do now. It's gone into the single 1.
Justin, you require 80.
And so Justin Smith to record his 2nd consecutive victory wants double 8.
Game shot.
And the man who's been splitting all week
Justin
and then hitting
Smith
does so again. Justin Smith seals a 4-2 victory against Jared Cole. Smith, 2 wins from 2. Cole, 2 defeats from 2. With an 87.87 average, Justin Smith gets over the line. 4 from 8 on the checkouts and a high out of 86. We're going to take a short break. Upon our return, Nick Kenny's in action against Graham Usher.
welcome back to the MODUS Super Series of darts. 4 matches down, 6 to bring you, and another win for Justin Smith. Let's take a look at the stats. And another impressive average, 87, 87, 180, 4 140s. Actually, could have got that done a lot quicker. Only started to miss doubles. He was 3 out of 3. Started to miss when they were match doubles. All the same, a very good performance. And Jared Cole, although yet to register a win, this format does allow players to make something of a comeback. We've seen it many, many times, of course, at the Live League. Right, let's have a look at the table, and it is Justin Smith who makes it 2 from 2 and tops the table. Graham Usher and Nick Kenny with a game in hand, and they are up next. So one of those two will either get off the mark or join Justin Smith on 4 points. They go 4 to 5, 10 to 11 in terms of betting in this one. I think the 10 to 11 about Usher is value, especially when you consider the performance last time out. So let's join Owen Binks on stage with the players, and in commentary it is Matthew Eckert and Henry Deacon.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. So Graham Usher returns to the Oki, a 4-1 victor against David Pallett, the group favourite in the opener. He takes on Nick Kenny, who in his opening game was defeated 4 legs to 3 in the All-Welsh battle against Justin Smith, the 29-year-old former World Trophy semi-finalist. Taking on Graham Usher from Scarborough, age 49, former quarter-finalist at the World Masters. That was back in 2019 at the Circus Tavern.
Game on.
Started today, mightily impressive, as Mate alluded to. 101.88 the average in seeing off the group favourite David Pallett. 4 legs to 1. The 1-4-1 finish, though, really stole the show in that one. 80% on his doubles, 4 out of 5.
60.
If he can be anywhere near that, he is going to take some serious reeling in.
Completely agree.
125.
I mentioned the first game, the 5-1 to win the group outright, are big odds for
60.
Nick Kenny, and he'll be looking to respond here on the back of the 4-3 defeat to Justin Smith. And this is one of the unique things about this particular format. We mentioned it earlier on this week that when you lose in a normal tournament, you head home.
60.
But here, you've got to respond to setbacks. And in Group B, you get less time than in the 6-player group. Sometimes you may get 3-4 games to have a rest. You're on and off and on again.
140.
And you've got to quickly respond to those setbacks.
Nick Kenny's found the formula to respond.
60. Nick, you require 76
after just 12 darts. Should get a dart for the leg, might get 2. He will get 2. 2 4s.
Game shot in the
2
first
4s
leg.
it is for a 15 dart hole
Kenny.
to throw for Nick Kenny. Takes the opening leg. Graham Usher nowhere near the level we saw in that first game.
Second leg, it's Graham to throw first.
Does have the
Game
throw
on.
in leg 2.
We saw this in Group A, didn't we, on Monday, where you had a 99 average against Lisa Ashton, and then
140.
it wasn't even the case of it plateauing. It dipped in the subsequent games, didn't it? And perhaps that's the one thing that he this week has lacked, and that's probably why he finished 3rd in Group A and didn't challenge
45.
as much to the top end of the table.
About day management.
140.
He'll play multiple games. He's already played 15 matches before he came into today. He's played 1. This is match 17 of the week already for Graham Usher. So a roller coaster of
60.
emotions, a lot of highs and lows. We've seen the very best in the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And I suppose as well, for
41.
Graham, he's having to readjust the body clock because he's going from the extreme of waking up first thing in the morning to play to then having to deal with late night darting action. And I know from personal experience, I didn't have to be up till about 9 o'clock this morning, but I was straight up at 6 a.m. because that's how the body clock adjusts.
100.
The good thing he's got from here is he knows it's all evening.
140.
Tonight's the evening. Tomorrow is the conclusion of Group B. So that'll be an evening session again, same time. 10:05 start. And then finals will be coming in the evening as well. So he's got time to adjust with one eye on the final.
140. Graham, you
Which will
require
be
40.
in front of an audience. You can join us for it. Graham Usher wanting tops for a holder throw. Now double 15, 4-15, but it goes the other side of the wire. And Nick Kenny here
56.
could treat us to a blockbuster 1-5-6. This would be for a breaker throw and a 2-0 lead. But it strays the other side of the wire. So Graham Usher returns 4-15 for a level game.
43. Graham, you require 15.
Double 4. Now double 2.
Game shot on the second
Pins
leg.
it. And we're back
Graham
level
Usher.
at 1 apiece. All on throw thus far. No splitting these two. And you sense at the start of this game, it was a sort of
So look, it's
match
Nick
which
to
you
throw first.
picked a winner at your peril, really.
Nick Kenny playing around his
125.
season-long stats, and today 86 in his opening defeat to Justin Smith. Graham
100.
Usher continuing this roller coaster of performance, ultimate highs and ultimate lows. Big drop down to an 83 from that 101.
60.
Another feature we've seen of Graham Usher is when he gets to about the end of leg 3, beginning of leg 4,
43.
seems to hit that turbo.
The winner's instinct kicks in. Who's going to be the winner of Group B? You can get in contact with us on social media. It's at MSS Darts. So don't forget to give us a follow on those accounts.
123.
Just to run you through the odds for the group. David Pallett was the 7-4 favourite before we began. Jared Cole 3-1. Graham Usher you could find at 7-2. Nick Kenny 5-1. And Justin Smith the 6-1 outsider to claim the accolades
44.
here in Group B. Usher looking to leave himself on a finish and perhaps prize a breaker
90.
throw. Will do so. Leg, your sense maybe still be up in the offing. I think a lot depends on this visit here.
60. Graham, you record
And Usher
145.
still has more than a chance. If he can set this up nicely.
85. Nick, you
He's
record
himself on 60,
117.
so to save throw, Kenny needs this 117. He should get a dart at tops.
Game shot on the third.
And that is excellent from Nick Kenny. He was under all sorts of pressure. His throw was in all sorts of jeopardy. But he pulls off the 117 finish. He's 2 from 3 on the doubles bed. And he leads Graham Usher by 2 legs to 1. It could have so easily have gone the other way round. Of course, just a reminder that all the players are wearing a black armband this evening. Following the news we heard earlier on this evening. Everyone here at the Super Series are paying their respects.
$100. 140.
We'll get into the business
140.
where a little mistake from Graham Usher could be
83.
fatal. Nick Kenny. He needs one treble really to leave a 2-darter if he utilises that bullseye. Not going to need to.
145.
He does use it though to set up a better
133.
2-darter. Really good thinking from Nick Kenny. Leaves himself to 56. This will be for a break of throw.
54 left.
That's left after 12 darts, so a good solid leg
93.
here
Nick
for Nick
record
Kenny.
56.
Gets to pick his route. Chooses 20 for double 18. One more dart at double 9.
52.
He will need more.
Graham record 40.
He may not get
Game
more. He
shot
will
the
not
fourth
get
leg.
more. And Graham
Usher.
Usher brings it back to 2 apiece here. With the darts, Nick Kenny has
Fifth leg,
the
it's
honours
Nick to
in
throw
the 5th.
first.
And it's an intriguing tungsten battle, this. Toing and firing one way, then the other. And a game where
44.
a lot of players are just taking advantage of the opportunities that's being presented to them, courtesy of their opponent.
59.
I just saw something there from Graham Usher that I'm personally not a fan of. The sorry I won a leg of darts club.
Yeah.
Putting his hands up in apology for doing exactly what he needed to do, which is win a leg of darts.
60.
That would be like Pep Guardiola saying sorry to Jurgen Klopp for winning the Premiership.
140.
He weren't apologising after that 140, which has put him in a little position here.
140.
A great response from Nick Kenny. Sensing the danger. Responding.
84.
Again, it's this visit between 9 and 12, which could dictate which way this leg goes.
100.
Ton leads 157, but if Usher can crank in a couple of trebles, he's favourite for the leg. Even if he can get one here,
99. Nick, you've got
he'll be more than an
157.
interested party. Unless the 157 goes, it'd be the biggest finish of the evening so far. Treble 19 would have left one dart at tops.
133.
Set up to
119.
perfection, leaving double 12 after 15. Triple 20 for tops for 119. And it would have been for a break of
Nick,
throw.
required
Nick Kenny
24.
returns for double 12.
3 darts in hand. Gonna need all 3.
Game shot
But
the
that's
5th
all
leg.
he needs. The last
Nick
dart,
Kenny.
bang in the middle of the double 6. Get your tape measure out and measure that one in. That will be pretty much spot in the middle of the double 6.
Look, it's
a
Graham
hold
to
of
throw
throw.
first.
He moves one leg away from the match. Getting his first points on the board.
140.
Going about his business well in this 6th leg. You'd sense that it would put Usher in a commanding position in this group
43.
after beating David Pallett in his opener, who in turn defeated Jared Cole 4-0.
60.
He joined Justin Smith on 4 points. In fact, my apologies, I'm looking at that the other way around. My apologies about that.
40. $135.
Next game will actually be against Justin Smith. Justin Smith with the advantage of throw going into that one. So that could become quite a tasty clash. If Graham can find a
81.
break a throw in this deciding leg, if it goes all the way, well, he's certainly got what's in his hand, plus 160 points on the
81.
scoreboard. It's going to take 2 things. It's going to take magical darts from Nick Kenny and misses from Graham Usher to stop this one going to the tiebreak.
95. Graham, you require 85.
To send us the distance. He can just lay up here.
53.
He's going to return for double 16. Nick Kenny can only apply pressure. How much pressure is he going to apply?
140.
He's him on 102. But to send us all the way to a deciding leg.
Game shot on the 6th
Well,
leg.
from one extreme
Graham
to
Usher.
the other. One dart that was so far wayward, it was probably in the next postcode. And then the third and final
Seventh
dart
and final
finding
leg,
its
it's
way
Nick's to throw
past the first into
Game
the
on.
double bed. And Nick Kenny has the honour in the 7th and deciding leg. Both of Nick Kenny's games have gone the distance this evening. In his first match, he was on the wrong end of the scoreline,
25.
4-3 to Justin Smith, and a bounce out there in the treble 5 in his first visit of this deciding leg.
We've seen all
83.
week when it gets to this 3-3 situation and Graham Usher's against the darts. Find some inspired stuff. Nick Kenny did the same in his last game, but wasn't able to convert it. He opened with a 180, followed it with a 135. Couldn't get the job done against Justin Smith.
100.
Even that 100 still offers Graham Usher opportunity here in the front 9 to steal a march.
41.
Advantage of Nick Kenny.
Purely because he has the throw. This has been a tense and nervy final leg.
It's interesting. This is our 7th leg, and we are only able to split them by 1 point on the scoreboard. Kenny on 376, Graham Usher 377.
Well, we'll look at the match stats in a few seconds' time when the game is
32.
completed. But there's really nothing to separate them in any department, pretty much.
Scoreboard's just separating them a little bit here, and Nick Kenny has the 3 darts in hand, which he is making perfect use of.
140.
That is timing to perfection there. The 7th 140 of the game so far.
100.
Punishing the
Make it look
32 from Graham
137.
Usher. Buying himself 6 darts here at the 137, so he only needs 1 treble here to leave himself a handful at the double. Found a big, major treble.
85.
We'll have the option of either tops or double 16
100.
as he
Make it
returns to seal
152.
a 4-3 victory. Double 16
Game
to
shot
turn
on
his
the
darting
match.
luck around. He
Nick
lost the
Kenny.
opening game of his night 4-3 to Justin Smith. He does the favour the other way round to Graham Usher with an 86.5 average, 4 from 10 on the checkout and a high out of 117. So Nick Kenny's on the board. After the break, we're going to see David Pallett and Justin Smith in action. Both players are looking for their next victory of the night.
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Well, we are halfway through. Let's have a look at the stats from that match. And it was a reversal of fortune for Nick Kenny, beaten 4-3 in his opening match. This one, he wins 4-3. The book has made it a pick-em match, 10-11, 4-5. Had it right, I had it wrong. I fancied Usher in that one, but he couldn't replicate that performance from his earlier match where he averaged 101.8. 86.53 for Nick Kenny, 85.35 for Graham Usher. Well, in this one, Dave Pallett is a big favourite, priced at 4-9, 13-8 about Justin Smith. Well, I wouldn't be backing David Pallett after his performance last time out. Right, let's get on with this one. Owen Binks ready to ref. In the comms box, it is Matt Edgar and Henry Deacon.
Chris, thank you very much indeed, and I completely agree with you. The 13-8 on Justin Smith before play gets underway here represents some really good value in my opinion. Played consistently well all week, and we said in his last game he's come out tonight with a point to prove. There's the 25-year-old bearded dragon from Cardigan in Wales up against the 32-year-old David Pallett from Newport in Wales, winner of the England Open in 2022. And as Chris said, with the bookmakers' odds, I think 13-8 is possibly one of the best values of the night you're going to get on a player in Justin Smith's favour when you look at his form guide this evening.
David Pallett does have the advantage of throwing this, but I'm not enjoying his throw, to be honest. It's all a bit tense, a bit tight.
93.
Not very smooth and fluent that we normally see from Pallett.
60.
Has been reflected in his performances so far. He lost 4-1 last time out. I mean, Graham Usher was fantastic in that game. He averaged 86 in that one. He did start with a 4-0 win over Jared Cole. 81 the average there. But if Justin Smith can get these 140s going
60.
like we've seen in the past, he'd certainly get that breaker throw that he's going to need.
I just feel like David Pallett's snatching the darts here.
You can see that in those two. Prime example.
39.
Very, very low in the bed. Holding on to them for far too long. Bit jittery.
140.
Again, comes very low in the bed. Using the 18s, very
128.
esque. Most people switch down to the 19s or even the 17s these days.
100.
Very rare we see a player over on the 18s, but it's working for David Pallett there, finding two.
You would think that it'd be an easier switch when you're up in the 20s bed, wouldn't you?
85. Justin, you require
Slight
141.
adjustment to the right. We've seen this 141 already tonight. Graham Usher took that out against David
57.
Pallett. So
David, you
bad
require
vibes for
100.
David when that 141 was called. Good vibes if game shot is called. It's tops.
Game shot on the
And takes
first
it.
leg.
100
David
finish for
Pallett.
David Pallett. He's been good on the outer ring tonight. And adds to that with 100 finish in 2 darts.
Second leg is Justin
Hold
to
the
throw
throw.
first.
It's 1-0 to David Pallett.
Indeed it is.
100.
Waxing lyrical about Justin Smith's odds. David Pallett, mate, make us look like fools. 1-1, lost 1 so far. Beat
57.
Jared Cole by 4-0 in the opening game of the night. Then to come to a 4-1 defeat to Graham Usher.
180.
Justin Smith is beginning to establish himself as the player to beat in this group. Winning both of his opening 2 games, is setting his stall out in his third of the night, averaging a shade under a ton, 99.5, having just hit his first maximum of the night, That first dart so plumb in the bed that is going to lead to a second in succession. And now the average is just below 110.
41 after 9. It doesn't get much better than that. 11th darter is as good as it's got this week so far.
100, Justin, you've required 41.
Smith is on that board of players who have hit it. He could double up.
25.
He will have time on his side. Will return back for the double 8. Pallett can't see out 206 with 3 darts.
98.
So it's
Justin, you've required 16.
For Justin Smith.
Game shot on the
And
second
he
leg.
takes it with the first dart in
Justin
hand.
Smith.
It's a 13 dart holder throw for Justin Smith. Going to take some breaking to break a 13 darter.
Third against David
There'll
to
be
throw
12 or less for
first.
David Pallett, which he's been not even teasing us with so far in his 2 matches.
I mean, credit to
28.
Pallett here, averaging 92.8, although that last dart has really brought the average down. Sometimes you've got to credit the
57.
player who's playing well, and that's exactly what Justin Smith's doing here. Mentioned 13 dart leg, averaging 94. Pallett's just not being
100.
allowed many, if any, opportunities. The one thing he does know is he's got the advantage of throw.
40.
For now.
For now, indeed.
If Justin Smith keeps finding these double treble combinations, Pallett has nothing recorded yet in the 140, 180 column.
95.
Justin Smith can keep this consistency on the treble bed, that hold of throw,
100.
or the advantage of throw, won't be lasting for much longer. Said Lisa Ashton was the biggest outsider in Group A. She won it. He's Colley, the biggest outsider in Group B, and he's top. Justin Smith wins this. The biggest outsider in Group B
180.
will be top. Dave Pallett is not going to roll over. Finds his first 180 at a crucial time.
Indeed he does.
78. David, you require 98.
And despite Justin Smith dominating the scoring department, he may find himself behind. Because David Pallett's going to get a dart at double 12,
74.
which goes
Justin, you
just
require
above the wire for a
126.
2-1 lead. And so for a break of throw, well, that's a disaster dart for Justin Smith. And if he got that break, you sense that
86.
possibly there's
David,
only
you
one winner
require
in this match.
24.
But as we have it, Pallett returns for double 12. And now double 6 along the board.
Game shot
And
on the
into
third
the
leg.
double, sneaking
David
into the
Pallett.
bottom left-hand corner. And David Pallett leads here by 2 legs to 1, all going with the throw
Fourth
thus
leg, it's
far.
Justin to throw
Justin
first.
Smith
Game
has
on.
that honour in the 4th. And it has been a game which has solidified the fact that the throw can be so
97.
important, because when you look statistically, Justin Smith has absolutely dominated, but he finds himself behind.
56. $60. $92.
An opportunity should present itself. The 180 from Pallett was just
100.
perfect timing. Held him at bay in the last leg.
$92.
Good standard here. Pallett, a much improved performance on what we've seen from him so far today.
60.
4-1 defeat to Graham Usher. 4-0 victory over Jared Cole. We are going to see next out against Nick Kenny. Jared will be desperate for not only the points, but the performance.
125.
Yeah, confidence-wise, he's not there tonight, is he?
94. David, you've got 136.
Pallett wants 136 for a break and a 3-1 lead. Really has been a
85.
bizarre
Justin, you've got
game.
190.
Smith wants 90 to level us up at 2 apiece.
65. David, you've required 51.
And so for a 3-1 lead, for a break of throw, and to turn the stats on its head.
19.
But 2 darts
Justin,
for the
you've
break
required
and a 2-leg
25.
buffer had come and gone. And so Justin Smith returns for 25. 2 darts at double 8.
9.
And he's
David,
missed 2
required
darts at
32.
double to win this leg. And so Pallett returns. It's a nice marker.
Game shoulder
Perfect
full
marker.
flag.
And David Pallett is 1 leg away. He breaks a throw at Justin Smith and has the opportunity to win this game 4-1. A game that statistically Justin Smith has dominated, has the higher average, has more 180s, it's more 140s.
56.
But when it's come to the doubling, that's the one statistic that David Pallett has a better ratio at 3 from 8, 37.5%. Whilst for Justin Smith, 1 from 6, that's only 16.67%. And as Bobby George famously said, it's trebles for show and doubles for dough, and that mantra is so right in this particular match.
180.
Points won't be awarded for 180. So Justin Smith will hope they are. 3-1 up in that column. David Pallett 3-1 up on the scoreboard. The race to 4 is just 1 leg away from getting 2 points on the board.
128.
Go along his 2 points he took earlier on against Jared Cole. That'll really tighten the group up. This would be a first defeat for Justin Smith. Won both of his games so far this evening, Nick Kenny and Jared Cole. So things could get a bit condensed in the league table.
97. Justin, you require 81.
For 3-2 for the break back. To keep himself in the match. Double 9.
72.
That's unlucky. That was a whisker away. Two darts at double 16.
Game
for victory, which keeps us guessing in the early stages here in Group B at the Super Series. A 4-1 victory for David Pallett to back up the 4-0 victory in his opening game of the night with an 89.89 average. Justin Smith averaged 93, hit 3 maximums, but it is the checkouts department. That's the key statistic in this game. 4 from 9 for David Pallett, 1 from 7 for Justin Smith, and that is why Pallett has run out a 4-1 victor. We're going to take a short break. Jared Cole is looking to get his first points on the board when he takes on Nick Kenny.
as the saying goes, scores for show, doubles for dough, and David Pallett was a big favourite, and he lived up to that expectation with a 4-1 win there over Justin Smith, despite Justin Smith averaging 3 and a bit more than David Pallett. More 180s, more 140s, but the number that counts is those checkout percentages. 4 from 9 and just 1 from 7 for Justin Smith. So his unbeaten run comes to an abrupt end. We're 6 matches down. We've got 4 more games to bring you. Let's have a look what effect that's had on the table. And as you can see, the man that looked in all sorts of trouble not too long ago now finds himself at the top of the table on leg difference. +4 for Pallett, no leg difference for Justin Smith. Graham Usher, just 1 win from 2. Nick Kenny, 1 win from 2. But it's Jared Cole yet to pick up a point this evening, and -6 on the leg difference. Well, up next it is Jared Cole against Nick Kenny. Jared Cole, the 4-6 favourite for this one. Nick Kenny, 11-10. There may well be a bit of value in that one as well. So over to our referee, Owen Binks, and in comms, Matthew Edgar and Henry Deacon.
Thank you very much, Chris. A big game, even at this early juncture for Jared Cole. You sense he needs to get points on the board, and points on the board quickly as he takes on Nick Kenny. The only player yet, as you saw in the league table, yet to win this evening is Jared. Matthew Edgar alongside me. We were delving into head-to-head stats between the pair, and perhaps knowing their career path so far, not a surprise that this is the first official recorded meeting between the pair.
You know, obviously Nick Kenny held a tour card for a couple of years, which meant he went down.
Okay, first look, it's Jared to throw first. Game on.
Not really similar in the age category either, so they wouldn't have had any years on the development tours.
134
somewhere out there, but it's certainly not in a ranked event or near at the Super Series. Jared would have been hoping to come out and set out a stall after back-to-back defeats, losing 4-0 to David Pallett and 4-2 to Justin Smith. You get a couple of trebles in your first visits, it's just going to
93
grow a bit of belief, which is what he needs at the moment, sat on -6 at the bottom of the table. But this Group B, 3 players going through out of the 5, always a bit of an opportunity.
95.
And just get a couple of points on the first session.
It's a group that can swing very dramatically. I remember covering the Champion of Champions, and Robert Owen was top of the group overnight on 6 points, and you felt that he was in a comfortable position to progress. He then lost a lot on the Friday and failed to qualify. So it can swing dramatically from one night to the next.
96.
What Jared needs to do here is try and rescue the situation as much as he possibly can. Even if you can just get 2 points on the board, it's not an ideal situation after the opening night, but it gives yourself a chance, gives yourself hope, and darts like that would extinguish it very quickly. But if you can get something on the scoreboard by the end of tonight, he will still have something to play for tomorrow, but he will know that he needs a big push on Friday.
125.
It's not about winning the group really for Jared here. It's about making the top 3. The prize is the same, a place in the finals night on Saturday. Is what he would have wanted when he first arrived here.
50. Make it 128.
Very much possible. Kenny only got the 2 points, so he will go level on points if he can take this victory. He's not using
41.
the advantage of the throw despite that 1-3-4 to start. He's 60 points behind coming into the finishing phase of this leg. Kenny will return for the 87.
50. Nick, you require 87.
He's a bit disappointed because he kicked off this leg with a 1-3-4. And he may not get a dart at double, depending on whether Kenny can get the ball or not.
62.
He doesn't.
Jared, you require 90.
So Cole returns for 90. Just needs something to get him going. And this is something you don't often see from him, is that little air of frustration as he goes for the
62.
double 14. Usually he's quite good at keeping his
25.
emotions in check. Now, I suppose as a player, when it's just not happening, as we see Kenny go for the double 8.
70.
Goes wide. It could be like a pressure boil that boils
Challenger
up and
required
boils up and
28.
boils up. This will make him feel a lot happier if he can take out the double 14. Now down for double 7.
On the first
Gets
leg.
there in the end. Jared Cole gets the
Cole.
first leg on the board. A little bit of a fist bump there just to try and get himself going, to try and psych himself up somewhat.
Second leg is Nick to throw first.
I'd like to make a few notes on players as we go through the day. Just cast my eye over to my notepad. There's 2 notes I've made on Jared Cole so far, and that's trebleless visits and 5s. Right on cue. Jared Cole first start into the 5s.
119.
Losing that lie a lot.
In fairness, though, the one thing that has helped him out has been his cover shooting on the 19s.
It looks like he's
100.
becoming aware of that. He's switching downstairs very quickly. There's sort of one dart at the top and then straight the way down.
59.
Expecting him moving around the board in this game a little bit. I think Kenny's moving through the gears. 180 and 100 with the throw.
96.
But as we've mentioned and referenced before this evening, and perhaps the David Pallett game just a second ago against Jester Smith's a key
83.
reminder of that. If you just hang in, if you know you've got the darts, nick those legs. Maybe try and play your way into form that way.
40.
Has to win one of the remaining 2. Of that, there's no doubt whatsoever. We have seen players pick up only 2 points for them in the opening night's play and get through from Group B in the past. It's not impossible,
80.
not by any stretch of the imagination.
85.
But here, Nick Kenny wants 85 for what would be a comfortable hold of throw. Went for the bullseye. 82 left, which he would love to have gone for the bullseye to leave double 16. So he heads up to the top end of the board. Leaves himself on 52. He's made a little bit of a mess of that. But he's going to return for the 52, is Kenny.
140.
But he's going to be under pressure.
52.
He left the 125 after 9 darts. It might take him 9 darts to take out the remaining 125.
Game shot the second leg.
But he'll be happy enough
Nick
with a hold
Kenny.
to throw. An 18 darter for Nick Kenny. Jared Cole did make up some ground, was breathing down his neck, left the single.
Third against Jared to throw first.
Did not return back to the board. Nick Kenny levels this one up. But
57.
again, Jared chasing around the board. Alarmingly losing the vertical line quite a bit in that setup shot, hitting the 1 with the first dart as well. So it's not just going left now into the 5s, also creeping over to the 1s.
45.
A lot of movement.
And that's unsettling for anyone.
44.
And I think before the last dart, he moved across the oche again. He's just not comfortable one little bit up there, is he?
Just looking for something all the time. And with this game, the more you look,
100.
the longer you'll look.
$100.
Fine, well, I'll just stand a little bit differently. I'll hold it a little bit differently. You go quite far off your natural game. It's all these little micro changes you make trying to look for it. Normally throw you so far off that you just
140.
confuse yourself a little bit.
They say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing 100 times and expecting the same
43.
results. But perhaps in a darts player's case, sometimes just sticking to the same routine, at some point it's going to have to stick again, isn't it? If you know it's worked in the past.
Just finding that little bit of fluency.
39.
Couple of deep breaths, some oxygen into the blood. It's 12:10 in the evening.
And Jared's one of the most used to players in this environment,
49.
playing late at night in this Group B. So he would have been one of the best prep players to deal with the day ahead, as is Nick Kenny. He's played in Group B a couple of times here at the Super Series.
137.
And that's a big visit. Leaves tops after 15. Jared Cole needs a big visit here. Otherwise, he is facing the prospect of being broken.
58. Nick, you require 40.
Huge moments coming up.
Game shot on the
And
third.
Nick Kenny is
Nick
up
Kenny.
to the task. He leads 2-1, breaks the throw of Jared Cole. Huge moments coming up for the 22-year-old from
It's
Hatfield.
Nick to throw first. Game on.
Because he's not entirely out of this, because Nick Kenny's hardly running away from the game himself. He can
44.
find an extra treble with a couple of more visits. He's going to present himself with opportunities.
90.
Again, just chasing round the trebles. Did come up trumps with our last one, finding the treble 17. Tend to find when you're a little bit tense, a little bit chasey, those
140.
lower down trebles just feel a little bit easier. A little less pitch and
140.
That was an aggressive throw from Jared.
it was almost as if I've had enough of this now. Let's just get on with it.
80.
Let's disengage the brain and activate the arm.
2 darts there, thrown with
104.
authority. And sometimes it can literally be as much as it just clicks into gear in one visit. In that game I referenced against Dan Reed when Graham Usher hit the 9 darter, for the first couple of legs he was averaging in the 70s. And Jared Cole here is going to stay upstairs.
131.
I wonder whether you go for it. Go for the shot, get the shot, and that's just going to give you the ultimate confidence booster. He's brought the average up to 79 from around a base of 72.
20.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Jared, you require 36.
When you're looking for a bit of luck, you get it. When you're looking for a bit of
Game
performance,
shot on the fourth.
Jared Cole is finding
Jared
it 90,
Cole.
140, 104, 131 his last score in visits and takes out the double 18 with 1 dart. That is a 13
Fifth
dart
leg, it's Jared to
breaker
throw first.
which is significantly better than anything we have seen so far this evening from Jared Cole. The most
93.
important thing is he's back at 2 apiece and he's regained the advantage of throw. But signs of life here from Jared Cole, especially on the outer ring. 2 out of 4,
95.
50%. No problem on the doubles. The problem's getting down to them.
96.
And in these situations, mentality means a lot. And credit where credit's due to Jared Cole. He's problem solving in a live situation.
140.
He's fighting fires whilst on stage.
56.
And maybe, just maybe, beginning to turn the screw. A leg, though, here in the 5th. That's right up in the offing, though.
100.
Huge last dart for Nick Kenny.
Not good thinking, though, from Nick Kenny. The last 2 darts probably should have been at the 19s.
140.
Could have left the 170 with 1 treble down there. Jared sets himself up in a position.
140. Jared, you're 116.
Gives him a genuine chance here at this 116.
96. Nick, you
Well,
require
it's another
26.
opportunity to break the throw. Could be a 3rd breaker throw in a row.
Game shot the
If
5th leg.
Nick Kenny converts
Nick
a double
Kenny.
13, which he does, and that is a 13 dart leg of his own. The last two legs have both been 13 dart breaker throw. That is high quality
It's Nick
tungsten.
to throw first.
Nick Kenny
Game on.
will be throwing first for the 2 points.
It's hotting up as we get to the latter stages.
140.
And a 140 piles the pressure on Cole. But that first dart, when positioned there,
100.
usually a nice lie. Wasn't on this occasion. Advantage Kenny. Huge moments coming up for Jared Cole.
93.
But also for Nick Kenny. Beat Graham Usher 4-3 in his last match. Lost to Justin Smith 4-3.
96.
And in this situation, the group just gets tighter and tighter if Nick Kenny can get himself onto 4 points.
140 to open this leg was his 5th 140 of the match, but probably the most important
58.
one. Good bit of time in there from Nick Kenny. When you've got the throw, you want to start strong.
135.
Leaves himself on the fish.
Bit of master count in there from Jared Cole to find a way. Utilising the bull to leave himself to 170.
Jared, you require 170.
And that's 60. They make it fate for the leg. The bullseye for the fish. And that would have brought us level at 3 apiece.
Nick, you require 150.
Lisa Ashton won a game earlier this week on a 150. Can Nick Kenny do likewise? So Jared Cole's going to return for 34.
Jared, you
He
require
may
34.
split this, or he may go straight for the double. Looks as if he's going straight for the
He's on
double,
the
gets the
sixth
double,
leg.
and he takes us
Jared
all the way
Cole.
to a deciding leg here. It's going to be Cole that has the advantage of the darts in the 7th and deciding leg.
7th
Can he
and
pick
final
up
leg is Jared
his
to throw
first 2
first.
points of the evening?
And that once again was a 13 dart leg.
85.
Was a breaker throw again in 13. That's quite interesting actually, because again, when I was looking over all the stats for the players, they actually have extremely high stats.
125.
Is it because they don't throw many darts there, but for the darts they throw, more often than not they go in. And in
59.
just one dart, it's able to hit the double 17.
But it shows that he's maybe finding a bit more confidence that he went straight for it first start, because if mentally he was in all sorts of turmoil, he would have split and gone to double 16 just because it's a
58.
safety blanket for him.
Well, we look at the stats he's put in today, a 79 and a 77. This is a
180.
massive improvement on that. Just shy of an 89 average. It's his first 180 of the match in perfect timing.
134.
So Jared Cole is 177 points away from his first victory of the evening.
119.
Excellent visit. We've said how good his cover shooting to the treble 19 has been this evening. Case in point there. But he's going to be under all sorts of pressure.
140.
Nick Kenny was looking to make the max.
58.
To force the pressure on Cole, who has tops. Now double 10.
38.
And he's had 2 match darts. They've come and gone.
Nick
Nick Kenny
require
returns
44.
for 44.
He couldn't look, could he? He was looking back. He didn't want to watch the board. He was just hoping the score was called. And now he's got himself 2 darts. He's picked double 18. 1 dart left.
Eight.
He never looked set, did he? And it's presented the opportunity again for
Jared, you
Cole,
require 20.
who wants double 10 for his first victory of the evening to get himself on the board in Group B. Surely he cannot miss.
No score.
He does miss. And Kenny will return for the double 18.
Just felt that second one
Nick, you
was
require
just
36.
so quickly out of his hand. He must have felt that it was going to go in. Nick Kenny taking his time. 218s is the target. And he
Game
converts
shot
it
out
with the first
match.
dart. There's a
Nick Kenny.
16 darter from Nick Kenny to seal the victory and take the points. That is 4 points on the board now for Nick Kenny. Jared Cole takes a third defeat of the day. Nick Kenny with a victory with an 85.61. He was 40% on his doubles, but he won that one with those double treble visits. 6-3 on those. It's a 4-3 victory for Nick Kenny.
welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching around the world. Well, we are 7 matches down, 3 more to bring you. It's been some night so far and very unpredictable.
It has been, hasn't it? You just don't know which way anything's swinging one way to the other. It's been quite edgy, I've felt at times as well, by some of the players. I think consistency has been one thing that perhaps at times has been lacking. And yeah, it's an interesting group. We're going to look at the table, I know, in a second, but it's hard to call any of the matches this evening. You think one way, and then it just goes the other.
Yeah, I wonder if the 3 fresh players coming in have just taken a bit of time to get used to the stage. A better performance from Jared Cole. Let's have a look at the stats from the last one. He did go down 4-3, but it was a decent enough average from Jared. 86, 85, 61 for Kenny. Still outscored, but the positive for Jared is he did get better in that one and he looked a little bit more comfortable.
He did, and what I liked about it was he was problem solving as he went. You could tell that he was struggling first 2 games, and there was a struggle at the start of the third, but he was thinking instinctively about what can he do, how can he improve, and he was, you know, going down to 19s, thinking about things. Sometimes you can overthink, but I think he did just about enough. He'll be disappointed not to get the win, but he'll feel happier going into his last match. If he can win the last game of the evening against Graham Usher, puts himself onto 2 points. We've seen players after the first night on 2 points, and they managed to work their way through.
Yeah, we've seen players be at the foot of the table without a win on the Thursday, go through the card on the Friday and win on the Saturday. Let's have a look at the table. As you can see, David Pallett out on top. All the players with 1 more to play. Graham Usher with 2 more to play. He's in action against Justin Smith in the next one. Well, a chance for Graham to join that group on 4, or maybe Justin Smith can pull clear.
Exactly. We were asked to make up predictions on this, but this group and these battles as well have been so hard to predict over the last couple of days. So I'm not going to stick my neck out on this. I'm going to go sit on the fence. There's
splinters.
Yeah,
splinters
I know.
Henry. We're getting used to it now. We're getting used to it. Well, the bookies can't split them. They go 4-5, 10-11. I can't split them. Let's get on with the action. Owen Binks, as always, taking care of the refereeing. Henry will be hot-footing it down with Matthew Edgar in the commentary box.
Henry can't split them. The bookies can't split them. But there's one way to split them, and that's the past couple of days. We saw there Graham Usher switching hands. We wanted to see it, the left hand and the right hand. Able to throw with both. But we've seen it split the last couple of days when they played 3 matches. Has to go somewhere. Justin Smith taking the 2-1 in the head-to-head over the Group A that took place on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. He actually had a 4-0 victory against Graham Usher on the first day.
100.
Confirmed that victory of 4-2 on Tuesday, but Graham Usher taking the victory yesterday, 4 legs to 1.
60.
And that at the moment is really the only stat that we can really separate the 2 with. Everything else is pretty much
140.
50-50. Graham Usher with the more 180s, but Justin Smith fills up that 140 column on a regular basis.
I forgot what that little run up to the studio and back was like.
60.
You missed Graham Usher during his practice darts, do the 2 left, 1 right hand. Look, Phil Bars was probably
43.
jumping out of his chair in joy. Something he's wanted to see. The double-handed darter.
60.
If we're introducing that to the game, Owen Binks may need a hard hat.
100. Justin, you record 141.
So I asked Graham if I could see it. Nick Kenny threw a left-handed dart. Went in double
Graham, you record
16, and he made a big
158.
point of trying to point that out. Could be a good point out.
120.
Points out.
Justin, you record
That would have been.
98.
Justin Smith might end up down on the double 19 himself. It'd be the treble 19. After hitting the 5. Double 19 for double 18.
Game showed
it
the
is
first leg.
Treble 19,
Justin
double 18.
Smith.
Great recovery after hitting the 5. Justin Smith, 98 finish. But it is
Second
a
against
hold
Graham
of
to throw first. Game
despite
on.
the fact that Graham had a dart at that 158.
66.
And again, we mentioned it in the previous battles this week. These are two players whose styles, rhythms, throws, personalities bring the best out of each
180.
other. Case in point there.
81.
Sort of get the feeling they'll be getting sick of the sight of each other by the end of tomorrow.
May still see each other on Saturday.
140.
Yeah, Justin Smith sat on 4 points, 2 wins so far for him, and a defeat to David Pallett. So this is the last time we'll be seeing Justin Smith in action today.
100.
Graham Usher will be back later on for his final game, in the final game of today, when he takes on Jared Cole, who's going to be looking to put something
135
on the board.
Most certainly. As I mentioned with Chris up in the studio, it was better from him in the last game.
94. Justin, you've required
Disappointing
46.
not to get the victory. But here, Justin Smith
Game
wants
shot
double
the second
16
leg.
for an 11-dart leg
Justin
for a
Smith.
breaker throw in next to no time at all, with an average of 103.66. 2 from 2 on the checkouts.
Thurler gets Justin to throw first.
An excellent display from the bearded dragon, who's looking to make a charge. Looking to become the
140.
overnight leader in Group B.
85.
Said there's not much to split them, so I looked through the head-to-head stats for the week. One of the big defining standout things for Justin Smith.
78.
It's a 4-0 victory against Graham Usher earlier in the week. And if he carries on like this, could register a second 4-0 victory.
140.
Graham's going to have to find his best here. With Justin Smith averaging 104.
140.
4 140 pluses already in the game. He's had more 140s than tons.
100. Justin, you record 143.
Said this is a good feature of Justin when he's on song. Those 140s. Graham may be
60.
leading in the 180 column. Not in this match. Justin Smith 1-0 up on that. But overall, Graham tends to hit more 180s. He's just teed up an opportunity
136. Justin,
to
you require
get the
83.
break back. Justin Smith needs a treble. Oh, it's 16 for bull. Treble 16. We'll leave him the double 9. It is the bull.
Game
It is
shot
the
the
ball.
third leg.
Another
Justin
fantastic
Smith.
finish from Justin Smith. 83 to finish there to hold his throw with Graham Usher sat, ready to pounce. That's a
Well, they get
15
Graham to
dart
throw first.
for Justin Smith. Forces his opponent
Game
into a
on.
12, which he couldn't find in that leg. Averages on the rise. But the big stat there, Justin Smith, 3 from 3, 100% on the doubles.
140.
And Graham has been sat waiting in a couple of these legs.
Well, Graham Usher, who's averaging a ton himself, has had 1 dart a double. That was at
100.
double 19 on the back of a 158 combination.
100.
May get an opportunity in this 4th leg.
60.
Definitely the favourite to take it now.
$49.
Justin would love one of those trademark 140s here. Not going to find it.
100.
Gives Graham Usher a chance to get his first chalk on the board in this match.
140.
4-0, 4-2 and 4-1 the scorelines the last couple of days.
100.
4-0.
Graham, you require 72.
When sticks in the head, it hurts a little bit as a professional player. Graham won't want that to happen a second time,
Game
and
shot
it
the
won't.
fourth leg.
Lovely
Graham
72
Usher.
finish there from Graham Usher. That's only his second dart at a double. Despite averaging around the 100 mark, shows how quality
Fifth leg, it's Justin
game
to
has
throw
been.
first. Game on.
it is 3-1 and Graham Usher will now have to find a break.
40.
He may be presented with an opportunity here. And it looks as if he's going to take full advantage of that.
123.
Average just below a ton. That ships in a night. They're passing each other, and as I say that,
180.
Justin Smith cracks in his second max of the match to put his average just above a ton.
100.
But more importantly, put him in charge of a leg that, if he wins, secures
42.
a third victory from 4 tonight.
I am really enjoying this game, not just because of the averages, but the pace
140.
of the game. The scoring, the finishing, they just look so likely at the moment. It's more likely they hit than they miss.
100. Graham, you 138.
We've seen this done famously before, that way, but it won't go
98. Justin, you 139.
this time for Graham Usher. Leaves tops unless the 139 goes, it won't. And so Usher returns for 3-2. The gambler will then have the darts in leg 6 to
Graham, you're
take us all the
140.
way, and we didn't think we'd be saying that a couple of minutes ago. Double 10, 1 dart left.
Game shot on the
1
fifth
dart all
leg.
he needs.
Graham Usher.
Justin Smith, I think, thought he was going to return to the board. He walks back to the table just to
See if
recompose
Graham to
himself.
throw first.
Graham Usher now throwing to stay in the match and going about his business quite nicely.
180.
First 180 of the match for Graham Usher. The third in the match, 2 to Justin Smith.
100.
Can he follow up here? No, he can't.
Said before the game,
60.
Justin Smith hits a lot more 140s and Graham Usher hits a lot more 180s. They've once again proved me wrong. At the moment, Graham Usher
60.
5-4 up on the 140 column, but Justin Smith 2-1 up on the 180 column.
83.
Following this one, Nick Kenny and David Pallett play their final games of the session before Graham Usher and Jared Cole finish off the session.
22.
And it looks as if in this one we are going all the way. Usher 178 points away from leveling us up at 3 apiece. Justin Smith all the way back on 319.
100.
Tunley 78 after 12. Steady leg from the gambler this.
60. Graham, you requires
Responded
78.
really well. They've been 3-0 down.
Game
And
shot on the sixth
continues
leg.
that response.
Graham Usher.
78 finish there for Graham Usher. Levels up the game at 3 apiece. We are
Seventh and
going
final
all the
leg
way
is
to a
Justin
deciding
throw
leg.
first.
Justin Smith will be thrown first in that one. Graham Usher looking to
85.
move himself onto 4 points. Will have game in hand against Jared Cole, who has not picked up a
96.
victory yet. So Graham Usher could be making a serious move. He looks to get through to Saturday's
100.
final. £5,000 up for grabs. Saturday's final. Graham Usher's won one
121.
of these weeks before. I know all about that. I was on the receiving end of the final that week.
45.
Well, we've seen a player come back from 3-0 down and win this week. Alan Tabant did that
100.
against Dan Reed on Tuesday. And Graham Usher looks as if he's in the box seat to do that here.
96.
Going to get 6 darts to do it.
55.
But it's not the handiest lead 129, so it presents Justin Smith, if he can get 2 trebles, with an opportunity. Has a look across to his score, but decides to go for the treble 20 anyway and get there. So treble 20 for the bullseye for the match.
104.
And that would have been a comeback victory
Justin
from
requires
3-0 down, but
35.
Justin Smith returns for 35.
He will get 2 darts at his preferred
Game
double
shot
16.
on the
He is
match.
not going to need
Justin
them. Just one
Smith.
is enough there for Justin Smith. It is a 17 darter for Justin Smith to see him over the line, and that was a quality affair. 4 from 4. Justin Smith, 100% on the checkout rate, 92.70 Graham Usher will feel a little bit hard done by there. 98.30, but his night is not over. We will see Graham Usher return in the last game of the evening against Jared Cole.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Now that was a dynamite doubling display from the Bearded Dragon. Don't quite know how I got through that one, Henry, but we got there in the end. Let's have a look at the stats from that one. They make wonderful reading. An average in defeat for Graham Usher of 98.3, was 3-0 down. Just ended up leaving himself a little bit too much to do, but did have a dart at the ball. It was Justin Smith with 4 out of 4 on the doubles. That was wonderful to watch. Must have been lovely to commentate on.
It really was a great game to commentate on. As we both came up to this balcony, we both said the same thing. A proper game of darts. That it's not bad, is it, for a bit of late night darting drama, is it?
Exactly, 12:30 midnight. Let's have a look at the table, because Justin Smith has pulled clear. His night is done. He has played his allocated 4 matches, and he tops the table with 6 points, so he cannot be overtaken this evening. Maybe on leg difference, of course, with Dave Pallett, Nick Kenny, Graham Usher and Jared Cole still with 1 game to play. Our penultimate match is up next, and it is Graham Usher against the pointless Jared Cole. Now, this does become a must-win match for Jared.
It does, because overnight, 0 points. Yes, you can technically go through, but you look at the situation in the group, you leave yourself a lot of work to do tomorrow. But you get yourself on 2 points overnight. As we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you can get yourself through on that. We've seen it in the past. And the same at the top end with Justin Smith on 6 points. That's not a safe position whatsoever. We've seen players in the past on 6 points overnight have a really good first day, lose all their games on day 2, and then they're eliminated from the race. Group B for me is the most compelling group because the whole logic of everything just goes out the window on Friday.
Yeah, 10 points is pretty much makes you safe mathematically. Up next, it is Nick Kenny against Dave Pallett. Where's your 50 pence? You're not no more splinters.
No, I know. And the thing is, they're both confusing players overnight. If I'm going to go for someone, if you're going to put the name on the mask, I'm going to whisper it because they can hear us. I'll go Nick Kenny.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Well, let's get on with the action. Owen Binks on stage. Henry hot-footing it down to the commentary box where he will join Matthew Edgar.
Nick Kenny, the prediction there for Henry. Predictions haven't gone too well to plan. He's gone against the group favourite here in Dave Pallett. Dave Pallett's got 2 victories on the board so far. He kicked off his evening with a 4-0 over Jared Cole. And his last time out was a 4-1 victory against Justin Smith, who we've just seen had that excellent game with Graham Usher. Nick Kenny picking up a victory last time out, 4-3 over Jared Cole. He's also got a 4-3 over Graham Usher. Played his part in that amazing last game. Kicked off his day with a 4-3 defeat to Justin Smith. It looked like he was going to take it in the last leg, the 180-135, but couldn't convert and has converted ever since. So tees us up with all the ingredients of
100.
a game that could follow suit as game 8. That Justin Smith-Graham Usher game could be matched in terms of the standard between these two.
Both players been very contrasting in games this evening, I've felt. Very hard to predict this because they've been unpredictable.
140.
Both know this is a crucial game in terms of the group. Where can you jostle your position overnight? With a maximum like that, David Pallett will do his cause all sorts of good.
Seeing Dave Pallett come out of this group in the past the very hard way.
140.
He's had a very, very bad Thursday, and then his Undertaker act, where he came from nowhere, winning all his games, and somehow qualified through to the Saturday. Against this one, this will be the easier way of doing it. Just
121.
win games on the first day. Makes it all simple, doesn't it?
If only it was as logical and as easy as that. Treble 17 would have left him a dart at the ball. That would have been for a 12 dart
53. David
leg with the darts.
149.
Big ask for David Pallett, but not unachievable. Definitely not unachievable now. Single 19 does.
94. Nick
So Kenny returns to 68 for the opening leg on the board. Means it goes down for double 16. Goes inside, so double 8.
This for a hold of throw. Pallett poised on 55 if he misses, which he does not. That is a 15 dart hold of throw for Nick Kenny. Good start to this game. We said it had all the ingredients to provide the same sort of level of standard that we just saw from Justin Smith, Graham Usher, and these two following suit. Dave Pallett sat on 55, hoping for an opportunity, but Nick Kenny did not provide him with one. And one thing that's really positive about Dave Pallett is there seems to be a bit more fluency in the arm. It seems to be moving a little bit easier in this mod.
100.
Is it easier the last game of the night because you can just throw everything at it? You know you're coming back tomorrow. You kind of know where your situation is in the group. And it looks as if David Pallett is throwing with a bit of freedom. And that is why he's piling in the big scores. piling in 2 maximums and an average just below 120 in these early throws. He's actually hit 2 180s, 0
83.
ton pluses and 0 140s.
He's obviously going to the Edgar school of thinking that we just said, just go off it loads of trebles and doubles and you can't lose.
40.
Groan from David Pallett as he retrieved the darts on the board.
He's
100.
a bit of a character, David Pallett, and he did provide one of my favourite moments in darts, which was the 170 on the Euro Tour, where he got the 2 treble 20s and he turned around to the crowd and he was asking for the noise, he was asking for the
99.
moment. They zoomed in on the ball. Yes, it's a big 18. Proper trolled them live.
Only good players hit 170s, right?
Oh, we can't go there. I've I've milked that one.
48. David, you've got
I'm
190.
surprised it's taken us up until the early hours of Friday morning to get there. David Pallett is looking to get his way back level. He won't now.
58.
So Nick Kenny returns for
Nick,
the
you require
fish.
170.
The biggest fish in the deep blue darting sea.
Ironic was just talking about the 170. Be ironic if Nick Kenny can come up and hit the second 170 of the week. The other one hit by a fellow Welshman just down the road from Nick Kenny.
58. David, you've required 32.
How far down the road?
Just down the road, just a road. Not a very long one.
Games
Double
on
eight.
the second leg.
Sees David Pallett back level. 94.7 average for Pallett. And as I mentioned,
Look,
more
it's Nick
180s than
to
he's had
throw
actual
first.
ton 40 plus throws.
Robert Owen, if you're still watching, I might give it down the road and round the corner.
100.
Between Nick Kenny and Justin Smith. David Pallett, 94.70 the average. This is the best we've seen from Pallett so far tonight. He averaged 81 in his opening game, 86 in his second, and then got a victory in his last game, 89.89. Nick Kenny on the 90 mark. Again, the best we've seen from him, so
140.
shows that both players are warming to the task as the day's coming to an end. Last time we'll see both of these this evening. This will be the same fixture tomorrow when we see them for the first time.
123.
David Pallett will be throwing first in that one tomorrow. Nick Kenny with the advantage of throw today. Using the advantage of throw quite well here. The 15 points on the scoreboard before that 180. The 15 points was quite vital actually, because 100 left him the 161, where 100 for Pallett left in the 186, so he needs more than a 1 treble.
140. Nick, you require 81.
I could watch this all night long. Superb standing from the pet. 4-12. Double 13.
Game shot on the third
Excellent.
leg.
Excellent from Nick Kenny. The 81 after the 68. And Kenny gets himself in front 2-1.
Fourth leg, it's David.
Averages of 99
first.
and a ton as well. This has been a real good quality tungsten clash. 2 from 3 on the doubles for Kenny, 1 from 3 for Pallett. That is why we are where we are.
It's like the last couple of games have said, do you know what, looking at the time, people have stayed up to watch this. We best give them something to watch. We best raise it. We best give them a treat. Bit of loyalty for staying up this late to watch the darts.
100.
Last game, Justin Smith, Graham Usher. Thought could have been the standout game of the day. This is bubbling. This is going the direction.
95.
And we said before the game we didn't quite know what to expect from the pair. It's been, oh my indeed. Had a few weird bounce outs this week, and in particular tonight as well.
74.
I would like to see that back on the super slow-mo that we get now on the MODUS Super Series Twitter at MSS Darts, because that one, that was not a bounce out.
140.
I don't know what happened there. It just seemed to have come out the handle wrong.
And huge credit to our production staff who put in fantastic work. Real graft to get this production into where it is now.
40.
And still looking to go that extra mile as well to up and up and up the levels.
I just love that super slow-mo because it gave us that great shot of that James Richardson 180.
Yes.
59.
We both sort of looked at each other with jaws on the floor, unaware of what really happened. We know something bizarre had gone on, and the same with that last dart from Pallett. Something bizarre gone on there,
96.
and
Nicky Rock 122.
interesting to see that back on that slow-mo. So hopefully the production are already clipping that, so we can catch that one on Twitter.
At MSS Darts is where you can find us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Options here for Nick Kenny.
96. David, you've got 133.
He's himself from double 13 if he returns. This is for a hold of throw, so Nick Kenny's going to have the opportunity to break here and open up a 3-1 lead
93.
and put himself within one of the match.
26. Game shot on the
And
fourth
within one
leg.
of what would be his
Nick
third
Kenny.
consecutive victory. It would put him on 6 points alongside Justin Smith.
Fifth leg, it's Nick to throw first.
It would set up our final day's action here in Group
Game
B
on.
quite nicely. And importantly for the Welshman, he has the darts here in the fifth leg. One which if he wins, we'll see him the victor.
45.
You want your best game to be your last one, so you can leave here with all the positive vibes. Leave with the shoulders back, the chest out.
56.
That's what Nick Kenny's doing at the moment. 3-1 up and a hold to throw away from a 4-1 victory. And his 6th point of the day, which will put him in a very healthy position going into tomorrow's action.
60.
And if Jared Cole can get victory against Graham Usher, all 5 players will have a chance of making it through to Saturday night's final, which will be in front of an audience
85.
here at the Super Series. £5,000 will go to the champion. Lisa Ashton's already there. She won Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll find out tomorrow in Group C
85.
who's going to join her. 9:30 start here for all the action. Then a 10 p.m. return for the gripping conclusion, it seems, to Group B.
128.
Dave Pallett's darts there. I think he might be a James Richardson fan with the choice of flights.
And the setup altogether isn't too
140.
dissimilar to that of Ruthless.
$80.
Ruthless, a big fan of the curry. Dave Pallett, a big fan of eating. So, we never know. There might be some attachment there.
97.
I believe he's
David,
still
you've got
taking bookings for his
152.
slow cooker curries. Is to stay in the match. Kenny's going to return for 74. The seal of 4-1
70.
victory.
Nicky
join-
requires 74.
His fellow Welshman Justin Smith on 6 points. Going to get 1 dart at double top. Has to move over.
54.
And it drags just low. So David Pallett will
82.
get another opportunity. You sense it will probably be his last. Double 14. That's an awkward dart.
68.
And is that the last dart that
Nick, you
David
require
Pallett throws
20.
this evening? Because Nick Kenny's going to return for double 10 to seal a 4-1 victory to move on to 6 points. And put himself in a fantastic position to qualify for Saturday night's final. Nick Kenny is a 4-1 victor against David Pallett with an average of 92.04. David Pallett averaged 90 himself. 180 for Nick Kenny in that match, 4 from 7 on the checkouts, 57%, and a high out of 81. When we return, it's going to be the last game of the evening, and it's going to see Graham Usher up against Jared Cole.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Let's have a quick look at the stats from the last one. And it was Nick Kenny with a very convincing 4-1 win in the end. Henry, nice averages from both.
Exactly. It seems as if as the session's going on, the players are getting better and better and better. And we mentioned that for the players who haven't played on this stage before, they've got to be customised to it. Obviously, the players that have come in from Group A, they've had 3 days on that stage. It should be like home for them now. But you've seen from the players that have just come in tonight, as the evening's gone on, the averages have gone up and up and up, as of the performances. So
could be in for a cracking session tomorrow
good luck
night.
calling
Let's
that.
have a quick look at the table. And confirmation of the win there for Nick Kenny, and he joins Justin Smith, and as we predicted, with a win, goes in front on leg difference, but a chance for Graham Usher to close the gap in his final match of the night, and he is up against Jared Cole in a must-win match for Jared. Right, let's join Owen Binks as Henry hotfoots it down to join Matthew Edgar.
It was Elvis who gave us a song, It's Now or Never, which is kind of the theme tune at the moment for this song for Jared Cole. Sat at the bottom of the table at the moment with no points and quite a big leg difference against. Took a 4-0 defeat to David Pallett in his opening game. Lost to Justin Smith 4-2, a much improved performance in his last one, losing to Nick Kenny. But he needs points on the board now, or he's going to become detached at the bottom of the table.
Okay, first leg, it's Graham to throw first. Game on.
Graham wins this, he will move up to 4 points. Completely detach
24.
Jared at the bottom of the table, probably eliminating Jared from chances to get through to Saturday's final. So Now or Never
135.
would be a more appropriate song for Jared.
I literally just popped in, so I didn't quite hear that.
140.
I'm going to start singing it, but I was teeing up the theme song for this match, which is a bit of Elvis Presley.
96.
Do you want me to get the lyrics up for you so you can serenade the audience?
41.
You'll be happy to know that my singing days were led firmly at Lakeside.
Can't be any worse than Darryl Gurney's attempt.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
45.
I can already hear the producers in the background thinking about content. It's not going to happen.
We think about cutting the mic.
95.
I think that's what people have been asking all week. Good start this from Jared. 2-2-5 after 9 against the darts.
58.
And I suppose there'll be almost a knockout feel to this game for him.
Absolutely. There's no going back for Jared now.
100. Jared,
He can get away with losing a couple of games in this group and still qualify, but he's already used that up, losing his first 3 matches.
85.
Ideally, Graham Usher's not the player you want to be playing because he's been throwing some inspired darts today. And there's a very high ceiling when he starts getting it right.
Jared, 82.
But this is for an opening leg break. Gonna get 1 dart at tops.
62.
Which drags just below, and Graham Usher then
32.
has waited to carve out this
Aims on
opportunity
the
at double
first set.
16, which he ultimately
Graham
takes and
Usher.
opens up a 1-0 lead in this match. A game which, if he wins, puts himself in a great position going into tomorrow.
Second against Jared to throw first.
And would most likely eliminate Cole, who, going into tonight, was the
95.
second favourite to win Group B.
100.
Victory for Graham Usher here changes the equation from tomorrow, and it goes from 3 players from 5 to 3 from 4. Change it from a 60% to a 75%
56.
opportunity. He will be on 4 points himself, but be in the mixer.
You fancy your chances on there.
60.
You really would fancy your chances on there, but what Jared Cole would be in that scenario would be a spoiler. But let's not completely discredit him, because a victory here would put him into play tomorrow.
140.
And that 140 means that he's in charge of this leg with the darts. He's going to have to find a break at some point in this game.
64.
It's not just the 2 points that Jared would get. It would also restrict Graham Usher's evening's work to just 2 points himself.
121.
Jared's got to look at third spot. Has to look at third spot. And do everything he possibly can
95.
to eliminate the
Jared
rivals that
require
could possibly
89.
go for that position. He wants 89 here after 12. Gradually improved game on game,
42.
but whether that was audible on your microphone, he said, oh my God, he was not happy about that visit.
85. Jared, you require 47.
Be happy about this visit if you can see off the 47. He gets 2 darts at the double. Double 8.
39.
Graham
Graham, you
Usher
require
on
97.
Will need a treble. Finds the treble.
Game
Finds
shot
the
the
double as
second
well.
leg.
It's a 97
Graham
finish
Usher.
from Graham Usher. And vitally, that is a breaker throw. And once again, we get the sorry I won the leg from Graham Usher.
So look,
But
it's
you were saying
Graham to
there
throw
about
first.
Jared Cole and the position he's in. And I mentioned it a lot this morning that as a dart player, you want it in your own hands. You don't want to be
100.
watching the TV screen thinking, I hope this happens or I hope that happens. Jared Cole's got that position here. Graham Usher is obviously only on 2 points at the moment.
42.
Jared Cole can find a way to win this and tie it both on 2 points. They will clash tomorrow in the opening game. Jared Cole will have the advantage
58.
of the throw in that game as well. So we could see him actually drop into 4th position on 4
140.
points. He can get the double done against Graham Usher.
This Group B
140.
throws up all sorts of dynamics. It's the most unpredictable group, bar none. And after night 1, the first night's table sometimes can be completely and utterly academic because we'll see the
59.
player in top not even make the top 3 at times.
Just having a look over the head-to-head stats on the previous meetings. And Graham Usher 2-0 up on Jared Cole, which is not pretty reading for Jared Cole, who needs to reverse that and get 2 back-to-back wins really here against Graham Usher this week. And actually, when we look at the leg scores as well, they are not in favour of Jared Cole. 2 defeats,
60.
both
Graham, you
4-1.
require 104.
But Graham Usher really finding some big darts, 100.81 and 106.59.
Game
And
shot
that's a
the third
104th
leg.
finish
Graham Usher.
for Graham Usher. 3-0 the lead. It's a holder throw, and Jared Cole is in all sorts of problems. Not only does he have to beat Graham
Jared to throw
Usher
first.
back to back, but he's going to have to do that with 4 straight legs in this one. Graham Usher, 75% on the
83.
doubles, including that incredible 104 finish to hold his throw in the last leg.
81. 58.
Time is running out for Jared Cole. Mentioned earlier, I made a note about those trebleless visits.
140.
Going to need to be almost perfect from here.
140.
It's a good start. There's no wiggle room left for Jared Cole.
180.
Timing from Graham Usher, hitting his first max of the match to leave himself on 100 for a 4-0 victory.
33.
This would be the
Graham, you
second
require
4-0
100.
defeat of the day for Jared Cole. He lost in the opening game 4-0 to David Pallett.
Game shot
And he
on the
loses
match.
in the
Graham
last game
Usher.
of the day 4-0. So a sandwich of bad results between the terrible results there for Jared Cole. But Graham Usher, a great performance from him. 80% on the checkout. That is 4 out of 5. Tretters to a 180 in the last leg. 95.43 the average. And that incredible 104 just when Jared Cole started to make a move. That leaves Jared Cole as good as out of this group and leaves us looking at 3 players from 4.
Thank you very much, Matt. Well, that sort of summed up the evening for Jared Cole. The head dropped after a couple of legs. The 104 was the nail in the coffin, but an outstanding performance. So I was just listening to comms there, and to think that Graham Usher could have ended the night on just 2 points with how well he's played, that would have been, well, that would have been a little unfair.
It would have summed up the absurdity of this group. And for Jared, it's just one of those nights where it didn't happen. And he's one of those confident rhythm players, isn't he? And I think from that first game, he was trying to get himself psyched up. It didn't quite happen. There were signs of improvement in the third, and then Graham Usher just ran away with the final match of the night.
Right, let's have a quick look at the table. And confirmation, Nick Kenny will be our overnight leader. Justin Smith joining him on 6 points, separated by a leg difference, +4 for Nick, +1 for Justin Smith, but Graham Usher and David Pallett right in the mix. And I think that's pretty much all she wrote for Jared Cole, but he will have some say in how this group finishes tomorrow, because I'm sure he will play a lot better than he did this evening. And ironically, it's going to have to start on the B of Bang, because that match we've just watched will be our first match tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning, it will be a top-of-the-table clash from Group C, as Dan Reed takes on Reese Colley. Well, myself and Henry are going to shut our eyes for about 4 hours, and we'll see you at 9:30 in the morning.